havoc, not the Hurricanes. But Miami was still able to shake off Pittsburgh 17-12. It was a showcase game for Miami's young and swift Trent Jones and Al Shipman, our rising sophomore stars. Temple is also led by a sophomore headliner. Quarterback Henry Burris leads the Big East in total offense. He can gun it and run it. Defense has not been a strength for Temple, and without their best, injured linebacker Lance Johnstone, it could be a long day against mighty Miami next. Sunshine Network proudly presents University of Miami Hurricanes football. The final two games of the regular season critical for Miami in hopes of securing a spot in the Orange Bowl. On a beautiful fall afternoon at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, it's 8-1 Miami against 2-8 Temple in a Big East football matchup. And hello again, everyone. I'm Eric Reed. Glad to be with you and to be with former Dolphin great Nat Moore. Now, Nat, the Hurricanes had a scare last week against Pittsburgh. It cost them a spot in both polls, but it should get them more mentally and emotionally prepared for the task at hand today.
True. They were not prepared last week, and they must be focused and prepared today and next week to get to where they would like to be on New Year's Day, and that's in the Orange Bowl versus Nebraska.
Dream come true day today for Miami senior quarterback Frank Costa. It's his homecoming. He grew up just 3 blocks from here.
Hometown boy that's completing over 52% of his passes, has completed 7 touchdowns for 49 yards or more, and he looks to have a big day here at home.
Temple is still winless in the Big East Conference, but the Owls do own the league's best passing attack. So Miami's 2 cornerbacks will be on their toes. Chad Wilson and Carlos Jones, they're ready for the task at hand.
You're talking about 2 young guys, one a senior, one a sophomore, that does a good job of breaking on the football, has tremendous quickness, and between the two have 6 INTs this year.
Temple's coach Ron Dickerson building his rebuilding hopes on his talented sophomore quarterback Henry Burris. He's had an exceptional year. 19 touchdown passes, 8 different Temple records set.
Well, he's leading the Big East in passing, but the thing that this guy does is he makes good decisions. He doesn't throw the ball into traffic a lot. He's only got 12 INTs this year, and he can ill afford to throw the interception today.
Temple's defense much maligned, although they're improved from last year, but without their best player, injured linebacker Lance Johnstone today, they've really had to juggle their defensive unit around.
Well, you hate to lose a Lance Johnstone, but I think this helps the Owls because now they're able to move their strong safety, Corey Green, to the weak side linebacker, which will get them into their nickel package early and will allow them to walk a strong safety out on the slot guy. So this helps them.
You see the cast on Lance Johnstone. He dislocated his wrist in practice Tuesday. Corey Green moves from strong safety to weak side linebacker, and 2 first-time starters in the Temple secondary today. Well, the third man on our broadcast crew is the irrepressible Joe Rose. He's down on the field here at Veterans Stadium.
Talking to head coach Ron Dickerson before the game, he said, hey guys, this is the last game of the season. Don't worry about it. This is all on the field now. Talking about they're going to find out just exactly what they need to do in recruiting and how much better they need to get playing against one of the top teams in the country, the Miami Hurricanes. Dennis Erickson before the game also said very disappointed after last week's game. Said we got to come out and play a lot more intensity this week. He also talked about the importance of that. Yes, the coalition poll. It's a beautiful day here, mid-60s. Great day for running and throwing that football. Back up to you, Eric.
Thanks, Joe. Win today secures the Big East football championship for Miami and moves them one step closer to the Orange Bowl on New Year's Day. Miami and Temple kick it off next. Picture-perfect afternoon for college football. Temperature around 60 degrees. Nice sunshine. And Dennis Erickson hoping his team can win its 70th straight game against an unranked foe. Miami has won 6 in a row since losing at home to the University of Washington. And there's Ron Dickerson. Last game of his second year, his Owls have lost 7 straight and have a 14-game losing streak here at the Vet. And that Veterans Stadium, an NFL facility for the Eagles, sits over 66,000 people and just about 8,000 to 10,000 fans dotted around this ballpark today. You see the weather conditions, it's perfect.
Weather conditions are perfect, Eric, but when you've got a program that's suffering the way the Temple Owls have been suffering this year, being 2-7 or 2-8 coming into this ball game, you've got problems trying to fill the stands. This is a big basketball town, and Temple is more noted for the basketball team, so they're having problems trying to fill the stands with a losing season.
Jeff Frederick to the left, Tom Indio to the right, and Dan Pruitt gets us started here in Philadelphia. This is Jeff Frederick from the end zone. And he is brought down right at the 15-yard line. And the first man to get there was Dennis Scott, the cornerback from American High School in Miami. And there's a look at Henry Burris, the sophomore out of Spiro, Oklahoma. He has set 8 Temple records this year, including a 96-year-old single-season passing mark, 2,635 yards in the air for Burris. He's thrown 19 touchdowns, and that's the best Temple mark in 16 years. Sidney Morse and Juan Gaddy in the backfield behind Burris, who is back to throw on first down. And he completes it to his senior fullback, Sidney Morris, who leads the Owls in receiving and is 8th in the Big East Conference in pass catching. Chad Wilson and Kenny Holmes on the stop, a pickup of only 2 for the Owls, who will throw and continue to throw. They don't have much of a ground game.
Well, that's the success to the Temple's offense, is being able to put the football, and so goes the Owls as Henry Burroughs.
TJ Cook, the tight end, has caught a touchdown in 5 straight games, and this offensive line, they have played nearly every snap together. On 2nd and 2, this is Juan Gaddy, the sophomore, who's been bothered by ankle problems. He gets just back to the line of scrimmage, where the left tackle Marvin Davis makes the stop, number 93, filling in today for the injured Pat Riley. So Davis goes along with the All-American Warren Sapp and the fast-coming Kennard Lang. Linebacking group led, as always, by the man in the middle, sophomore Ray Lewis. And the secondary, the corners have been playing well, and C.J. Richardson having a standout year at free safety. His Hurricane defense ranks 1st in the nation in several categories. 3rd down and 10 for Temple. Good time for Burris. He finds his fullback, but just a gain of 1 for Sidney Morse. And it was Kennard Lang, number 96, that jumped on the back of Morse. 3 downs and out for Temple. No great surprise there, Ned.
No great surprise. This Hurricane defense has been playing well all year, and they went back then and wanted to try to throw the ball downfield. There was no one open, so he had to drop it off to his fullback circling over the middle.
John Shea's punt on the bounce, taken by Jamie German at the Miami 47-yard line, and the sophomore from Fort Myers, Florida, advances to the Temple 46-yard line, where the Hurricanes will take over 1st down and 10.
Eric, that was a very heady play by Jamie German. The ball hit and could have went another 10-15 yards, and he saw the opportunity to pick it up and get upfield and pick up another 5 or 6 yards. So a good, smart play by Jamie German on the special teams.
The Shadows at Veterans Stadium just beginning to start. We'll be right back. Here at Veterans Stadium, Dennis Erickson will put his offense to work. 3 downs and out for the Temple offense, and this Temple defense has really had its problems. A year ago, they gave up 49 points a game. That unit has improved this year, but Temple still yielding 38 points a game through this season. It's been a tough chore for Ron Dickerson in his 2nd year trying to rebuild this Temple program. 1-10 last year, 2-8 this year, and Coach Dickerson said this week these growing pains are really kicking our rear ends, but starting to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, it's extremely difficult to be good on defense when you throw the ball a lot and you have no depth. Your starters are playing almost every down, so you're not getting any quality play at the end of the ball game, and that's why they're giving up a lot of points.
Now Frank Costa, the senior from Philadelphia, at the throttle for Miami. On 1st and 10 at the Temple 47-yard line. James Stewart, the lone setback, but Costa wants to throw it on 1st down and completes it at the 44-yard line to Jamie German. Alan Jackson, the cornerback from from Newcastle, Pennsylvania on the stop of German. Short pickup, just 3 yards.
Just a basic turn-in route, go down and a little hitch, and trying to get the ball in Jamie German's hands early and give him a chance to run. But I think that ball was slightly deflected by the defensive end who jumped up and swatted it. Ricky
Perry missed last week's game, but he's back at the strong tackle spot for Miami, and the Hurricanes hope their ground game returns to form as well. On second down, this is big James Stewart coming right up the middle. He gets to the 45-yard line and is turned back by number 43, Adrian Drones, a senior out of Houston, Texas. Matter of fact, Drones out of Willow Ridge High School, same school that produced Derek Harris of Miami. No gain for the Canes. It'll be third down and 7. Phipps is a good young one for the Temple Owls. Linebacking crew without Lance Johnstone, their best. Lamar Warts and Orrin Marshman both starting their first games for Temple today. Third and 7. Costa out of the gun. And he guns it for German. First down at the Temple 34-yard line. Alan Jackson ran German out of bounds, but after a 9-yard pickup and a Hurricane first down.
Eric, there we saw the strength of Frank Costa's arm. As you see him going back here, if you look out to the right, he does a good job looking downfield, knows he wants to go out to the out route all the time, and just perfect timing between Frank Costa and Jamie German. Good strong throw as he takes the blow, standing in there.
DeAndre McClurkin put a hat on Costa after he threw it away. First and 10, Miami, the Temple 35-yard line. Canes first drive, and Costa looking deep for Trent Jones. Just out of the reach of the sophomore Jones, who is running ahead of the cornerback, Alan Jackson. And that Trent Jones really came alive last week. 4 catches, 83 yards on the touchdown against the Pitt Panthers.
Had a great game last week, and he ran a good route there, but for young receivers, I think the thing that he does here that hurts him as he comes across, he's aiming to the corner, but he doesn't give himself enough room on the sideline. This should have been a caught ball, but it'd been hard for him to keep his feet in. Good throw by Frank. Trent Jones just need to give himself and help the quarterback out a little bit more, giving him a little room on the sideline.
Second and 10 for Miami at the Temple 35-yard line. The Canes on their first drive throw the screen to Stewart. James Stewart ripping away from the Temple Owl defense to the 30-yard line. Good stick by the Temple Owls. Weak side linebacker Corey Green. He was the first man to get there. The 220-pound sophomore from Medford, New Jersey. 5-yard pickup for Stewart.
Yeah, that was a big hit by Corey Green. Usually you don't turn James Stewart around like that, and it's very hard for one guy to bring him around, but he put that hat right in the square of the numbers and really brought him back, shook him back, knocked him back a couple of yards.
There's Green. He's third on the Temple defense in tackling. Also has a couple of interceptions. And moved from strong safety to weak side linebacker today. Third down, 4. Stewart on the pitch. That's a good block. Gets the first down. And is brought down at the 22-yard line. Number 94, Alsterman Singleton, the first man to get there for Temple.
Got a flag down, Eric.
Yes, back at the 33-yard line. We talked about that block, and maybe that was the clip or the call.
Well, I think the call is going to be on Gerard Daphnis, the tight end, blocking on Tim Terry. The flag was thrown right at their foot.
On the offense, 10 yards, the spot of the foul, replay third down.
Miami's first penalty. Nat, been a rough week for Dennis Erickson and the Canes with Tropical Storm Gordon wreaking havoc in Miami. The Canes had just one day to practice outside. They worked indoors at the Coconut Grove Convention Center. 25-foot ceilings, but a cement floor. Not ideal practice conditions.
Not ideal practice conditions, especially coming off the tough week that you had against Pitt. But, as a coach, you've got to do whatever's necessary to get your team prepared, and I think Dennis has done a good job of that.
On third and 18, Costa being chased by Tim Terry and McClurkin, and he is run out of bounds by DeAndre McClurkin at the Temple 42-yard line. So a gain of 1 for Costa on third and 18. A case of a penalty stopping a Miami drive.
Well, that's what Miami has had problems with here in the last few ball games, is that they've stopped themselves. You're moving the ball, you're doing things well, and then you come up with a penalty that puts you back, and then it's impossible to get the first down. But let's give Temple some credit on that third down play there. They stayed after Frank. Frank had plenty of time. There just was no one open, and he had to eat it.
How about this? The first collegiate punt for freshman quarterback Ryan Clement. Mike Chrissy is out, the starting punter. Dane Pruitt been handling the job until last week when he broke his finger. And a great job by Clement. Coley tried to keep it in and could not.
That was just a little bad luck there, Eric. I mean, he hit the perfect punt. It came down inside the 5-yard line, but it took a big hop over Coley's head, and they weren't able to down the ball inside the 5-yard line.
Nice try by Antonio Coley. 47-yard punt for Clement. We'll be right back, but reach for Coors Light, the silver bullet, and keep on moving. Philadelphia, 9.5 minutes left in the first quarter. No score, Miami and Temple. And the Owls just ran a first down run to Juan Gaddy, a pickup of 2. So it's 2nd down and 8 for Temple at their own 22-yard line. Gaddy and the fullback Morse beyond the quarterback Henry Burris, who dropped straight back into the pocket to throw. And the pass complete to the tight end P.J. Cook. Run out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Pickup of 3 for the senior Cook, who's really been an excellent pass catcher for them. That's his 35th reception this year.
Good play by Henry Burris, where he got a little pressure in the pocket. His quickness of foot got him outside. He was able to find P.J. Cook coming open on the sideline.
Kennard Lang putting the heat on Burris, and that brings up a 3rd down and 5 for Temple. Owls have moved the ball and put some points on some very respectable teams this year. Scored 21 against Penn State, 42 points against Syracuse, and outscored Boston College second half of their game 28-3. Nearly intercepted by James Burgess, the outside linebacker. That's great team defense because Warren sat right in the face of Temple quarterback Henry Burris, and Burgess still thinking about the ball that just got away.
Yeah, that should have been 6 points. The ball is slightly deflected, so James Burgess is not able to gauge it, and he goes off his hands because the ball was a little bit behind him, but it's a ball that should have been caught.
Nice punt by John Shea. German backpedaling from the 32 and gets ahead to the 38-yard line. But Jamie German making something out of nothing.
Well, he had a defender in his face just as he was catching the football, but he showed a lot of courage, caught the ball, concentrated on catching the ball, and then getting upfield. Excellent return, man, Jamie German.
Jeff Frederick ran him out of bounds. So Frank Costa and Miami's offense get their second at bat. 8:48 to go, quarter 1. Miami and Temple are scoreless. A lone win this year. Well, the earliest win for the Temple Owls in their season opener. They beat Jerry Faust and the Akron Zips 32-7. They've lost the 7 straight. At the 3 games in a row that have been most disappointing for Temple, their last 3. As you look at the Big East standings, Miami at 5-0 can secure the conference championship with a win today. But looking ahead to next week, top 20 opponent in Boston College. They're at West Virginia today, but BC Miami at the Orange Bowl, primetime Saturday night. That's going to be a very interesting football matchup.
That's going to be a big football game. They'll be rocking and rolling in the Orange Bowl in Miami next Saturday night. But the Hurricanes must take care today first. They got to stay focused, put points on the board, win going away here so that they maintain their position in the polls, and then take care of business next week against Boston College. But today is the most important thing.
46-year-old Dennis Erickson, his 6th year as the head man at Miami, a record of 61-8. Bowl coalition poll, Miami dropping 4th to 5th, and the Gators moving in front. So not only winning, but the quality of the game you play. It cost Miami last week. They struggled to beat Pitt, and we'll see how it plays in Philadelphia this afternoon. Hurricanes start their second drive at the Temple 39. James Stewart, the lone setback. Costa again looks to the air and finds his favorite target, Chris T. Jones, who is run out of bounds at the Temple 47-yard line. Run out by the senior from Suitland, Maryland, Lamar Watts.
Just a good route ran by Chris T. Jones, a 8-yard curl where he goes down, turns in, and Frank Costa once again going to his favorite target, Chris T. Jones, gets the ball out there, gives him time to catch it, and then get upfield and pick up some extra yardage.
99th career reception for Jones, the fifth-year senior out of West Palm Beach, and a pickup of 8 yards. 3 to the right side for Costa. Stewart still a lone setback, and he comes straight ahead and does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1 for James Stewart, brought down by the defensive end, Tim Terry, and the tackle, Andy Phipps. Terry, number 36, a sophomore from Hempstead, New York.
The Owls are just doing a good job against the run of pushing that offensive line of the Hurricanes back and not allowing them to get any gaps for the backs to run through. And there you've seen Tim Terry do a good job of Tim Terry come across and make the tackle before James gets started upfield.
3rd down and 3 for the Hurricanes at their own 46-yard line. Derek Harris, the tight end, in motion. Stewart follows him and is close to the first down. Orrin Marshman, the blitzing freshman out of Irvington, New Jersey, making his first collegiate start today, and he shot the gap and was right there to bring down Stewart. And I believe Miami's short of the first down.
Well, as you see, you'll see him run through, and he does a good job of getting down around James Stewart's legs so that he can't fall forward for the first down. Good job of coming up, making the tackle.
Marshman doesn't make that stop. Stewart goes a long, long way.
Well, Marshman being 190 pounds, the one thing he didn't want to do is come up and try and take James Stewart on up in the chest area, because Stewart would have just ran completely over and been able to pick up the first down. Good smart tackling by Orrin Marshman.
7:08 left in a scoreless first quarter here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Let's go downstairs. I think Joe Rose has something interesting for us from the turf.
Eric, talk about bad turf. We have it at this stadium. As you can see, some of the creases almost an inch, and it's been one of the concerns for the Philadelphia Eagles. The National Football League just recently came in the last couple of weeks and told them, change it or lose the stadium altogether. Some of the coaches before the game were very concerned. Some of the worst you'll ever see. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Joe, and you are right on target there. That turf is terrible in spots. Now, Hurricanes going for it on 4.5 yard. And Tim Terry came off sides, but was he drawn off? Well, the Big East crew will sort it out. By the way, Miami is 23-2 in their last 25 games on artificial turf, and it is illegal procedure against Miami. So for the second time in as many drives, the Hurricanes short circuit with their own penalty.
Well, we got Ricky Perry there to get a little ahead of the count, and you just can't do that. This is the second time they've stopped themselves with a crucial penalty on 2nd down or 3rd down, and good teams cannot do that late in the season.
And Ryan Clement, his first punts in his college career. He is the 3rd-string quarterback, but does an admirable job getting it down to the Temple 20-yard line, where it will spin to a halt. Hats off to Ryan Clement, forced in the punting duty today. Of course, he has been working out as a punter all year long under the watchful eye of special teams coach Dave Arnold for just this type of emergency. But how about Miami? Down to their 3rd punter, A.C. Tellison behind him. The good news is Mike Chrissy, the starting punter, will be back in time for the bowl game.
Well, that's going to help him out tremendously, because as you get into the bigger ball games, you do want the experienced senior or veteran back there that can handle tough situations.
Speedy Van Johnson in motion, but this is the tailback, Juan Gaddy, trying to bring it outside, and he is cut in half by the free safety, C.J. Richardson. The hard-hitting senior from Dallas stopped Gaddy for no gain.
Juan Gaddy did a good job there, Eric, of picking his hold and bouncing outside, and had some running room until C.J. Richardson comes up and puts the good stick on him. And the thing you like about this tackle here by C.J. Richardson, watch where his headgear goes, right on the football. Comes close to shaking it loose for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, Carl Richardson hits like a linebacker. Gaddy again. He goes off tackle straight ahead for about 3. Kenny Holmes, the defensive end from Vero Beach, in on the stop of Juan Gaddy. Gaddy's a sophomore who sat out last year academically. He's averaged less than 3 yards a carry this season, but he's been bothered all year by ankle injuries. He's still not at 100%. This is the season finale for Temple.
Well, Warren Getty is a young back with a lot of promise, a lot of potential. But when your offensive line is not opening holes and you're throwing the football a lot because you're behind, it doesn't lead for high statistics for the running back.
It's 3rd down, 7 for the Temple Owls. And this is Henry Burris feeling the heat of the Miami defense. He lost the football. It was recovered by John Summerday, the right guard. That Miami pressure from Kenny Holmes and Kennard Lang forced Burris into the near turnover.
Well, that's the bright spot of this Hurricane defense is that front four is just so good. And you get so much outside pressure from the 2 defensive ends. And then you got Warren Sapp coming up the middle that it makes it easy and fun to play defense on the Hurricanes football team.
John Shea hanging it high and sending German into the retreat mode. He bobbles it and jumped on it at the 31-yard line. A gorgeous punt by John Shea. Jeff Frederick down covering Jamie German. Boy, I want to tell you, Shea put that one in the air for a ride.
Well, Eric, that was not only a long punt, but also a punt that hung for a long time, giving the coverage plenty of time to get down underneath. Most kickers, when they kick the ball long, will out-kick the coverage. At that time, he hung it up high and gave his coverage ample time to be there as the ball was coming down.
There's the Costa fan club. That was a 52-yard punt for John Shea. Scoreless first quarter, 4.5 left in it. Miami's 3rd try on offense. Straight drop for Costa, load of time as he nails it deep for Jonathan Harris, and it's nearly intercepted by Alan Jackson.
Alan Jackson just made a tremendous play on the football. He was covering Chris T. Jones on the outside. The ball was hung up, intended for Jonathan Harris, and he saw it, came off, and almost came up with a great interception. Let's take a look at this. If you look to the left side of your screen, as you see him coming off for Chris T. Jones, and you know, there's got to be an error there with the Hurricanes because you got 2 receivers in the same area, and that's how Jackson was able to come off and swat the ball away.
It looked like Jackson was actually covering Chris T. Jones.
He was covering Chris T. Jones on the outside, but was able to keep vision on the football and came off and made the play.
Jackson, the first junior college player to go at it for Ron Dickerson here at Temple. He's from Butler Community College in Kansas. Oh, nearly picked off by the defensive end, Tim Terry. That is a poorly thrown football by Frank Costa. It was right in the hands of Terry. Had he caught that, then a 22-yard romp for the end zone.
Well, Frank Costa that time was looking downfield, looking at his receivers, but then he makes the error just turning and throwing the football, not seeing Tim Terry there with no one blocking him and being out there in the flat on the halfback.
Tim Terry was a high school lacrosse player. He could have used his stick to catch that ball that time. 3rd down and 10. Miami back at their own 31. Daniel Ferguson in the backfield, but Costa out of the gun wants to throw it. Over the middle, too high, and picked off. Phil Cox with the interception. Well, the Temple defense has been maligned all season, but here in the first quarter, they have been terrific.
They're playing good, solid defense. That's what you expect from a Ron Dickerson team. You know, Costa got hit just as he was letting go of the football, but the ball was a little high. Yatil Green was not able to go up and come down with the catch. The Owls batted it around a couple times and then came down with the INT.
That's the 3rd interception of the year for Phil Cox. He's a sophomore from Flemington, New Jersey. The Temple Owls looking for their first Big East win. We're scoreless in the first quarter, and we'll be right back. Philadelphia just 1 first down in the football game so far. It goes to Miami, but the first turnover also goes to Miami, and Costa paid for it on both ends now.
Yeah, Costa's trying to step up. He's looking downfield. He never sees Tim Terry coming from his blind side, and Tim Terry does a good job of putting the hat on him just as he's releasing the ball. That might be the reason that the ball was thrown so high.
Now you wonder if Frank has put a lot of pressure on himself for this week. Never easy to come home and play for the first time in front of your friends and family that watched you grow up.
Well, it's tough anytime you come home. You want to play well, but, you know, if you have been struggling somewhat the last couple ball games, it makes it even more difficult, and that's what Frank's going through right now.
Yes, Costa pulled in the fourth quarter of last week's game. He was 15 of 25 through 2 interceptions, and both led to Pittsburgh field goals. Burris pass to his tight end, and in and out of the hands of P.J. Cook at midfield. So 2nd and 10 for Henry Burris and Temple. Well, you wonder if Cook can keep his touchdown reception streak intact. 5 consecutive games for the Temple tight end with a touchdown reception.
Well, that's surprising. P.J. Cook is an excellent receiver, got good hands for a big man, and that was a catch. That was a ball that was catchable, and he should have came down with it. For Temple to have a chance, these guys have got to play up to their capabilities.
3:59 left in our scoreless first quarter. Sidney Morse, Eugene Colbreth in the backfield now. Time for Burris, runs out. Kenny Holmes, the left side end, picks up his 6.5 sack this year. He just ran right over the top of Eric Johnson and smothered Henry Burris.
Well, that's just pure determination. Kenny Holmes is trying to rush outside. He's got good vision on the quarterback and just comes off inside and comes up with the sack. And, that's just a lot of power and determination by Kenny Holmes to overpower Eric Johnson like that.
Loss of 7. Kenny Holmes, he started all 10 games for the Canes this year at left side defensive end. 3rd and 17. The Owls still pursuing their initial first down of the day. This is Eugene Colbreth on the draw, and he gets to midfield. Not a bad run. 11-yard pickup for Colbreth, who is a sophomore. That's just his 8th carry of the year. Earl Little in the secondary, able to bring down Colbreth 6 yards shy of a first down.
Good play calling by the Owls here. As you see, you've got Warren Sapp coming outside, and just a good job of realizing that the Hurricanes will come for the sack with all that pressure up front, and there's no one there in the middle as they come out of there.
Last John Shea punt traveled 52 yards. This one not as good as it spirals down out of bounds. Makes a good Miami bounce. Back across the 30, and Miami will take it over at their own 33-yard line. Dennis Erickson's offense just 1 first down and scoreless through most of this first quarter.
Eric, I see a similar trend developing here today that developed last week. Miami started out, they had Pitt backed up. Today, they started out, they had the Owls backed up. Now the Owls are gaining field position, and that could come back to hurt the Hurricanes.
2:26 left in the opening quarter. Frank Costa back in the saddle after really taking a shot. Let's see if the Canes go to the ground. James Stewart runs into a pack of Temple Owls. He gets across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
There we saw the real James Stewart. James Stewart is coming off an ankle injury where he's been hobbled and has not been running with the same authority. On that last play, you've seen him hit it up in there real hard, bounce off a tackler, jump outside and pick up extra yardage. That's what you expect from James Stewart. Here's another look at it. Now watch him go up into the hole and watch him lower his shoulder and run into the defender. Now you see the power of James Stewart. Now he bounces outside and picks up a few more yardage.
Andrew Brown and Ted McDuffie brought Stewart down after a game of 5. On 2nd down, Stewart again. He picks up the first down, gets to the 44-yard line. A gain of 7, and Lamart Watts and Ted McDuffie finally derailing Stewart, who does look to be back in form after missing 2 games with the ankle sprain.
He looks to be back in form, and he's running tough, and this is what you expect from this Hurricane offense. Running the football. They're averaging 173 yards per ball game, and they've gotten away from it in the last 2 ball games. Here you see them going back to basics, blocking and running the football.
5 carries, 13 yards here in the first quarter for Stewart. Just the 2nd first down today for Miami. From their own 44, Costa over the middle. Great catch by Jonathan Harris. And he is roped down at the 27-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle by Ted McDuffie. That's a splendid catch by Harris.
Well, Ted McDuffie saved the touchdown, but let's give Jonathan Harris a lot of credit for just a great one-handed grab, and that's what you got to have when your offense is struggling. You've got to have players step up and make plays, help out the quarterback. And here you see Jonathan Harris on a ball that's slightly overthrown, making a great catch to give the Hurricanes the first down.
Pickup of 25 yards. Harris, the senior from Houston, reaching out and reeling it home. Stewart comes right, follows the block of Zev Lemelski and angles it to the 21-yard line. 6 more yards for junior James Stewart.
That's what we expected coming into the ball game, to see the Hurricanes control the football with James Stewart running inside and outside, because not only does he have the brute strength, but he's got excellent speed for a big man.
Second quarter score from Morgantown. Boston College leading West Virginia 10-7.
That's a good game. You have to give Dan Henning a lot of credit for the job he's done with the Boston College football team.
2nd and 3 for Miami. All at the Temple 20-yard line. Costa for his tight end, Saeed Tucker. First down Miami at the Temple 12. An 8-yard pickup. Alan Jackson wrestling down. Was actually the junior Saeed Tucker. 29 seconds left in the first quarter, and Miami's first threat.
Here we get a good look at it. Here's what happens when you run the football. You get a little boot action, little play action pass where Saeed Tucker comes wide open off the play action.
Saeed Tucker started the season slow with a knee injury. That is 15th catch of the year. So 1st and 10 for Miami. Costa looking end zone for Chris Jones, who runs out of room. Covered well in the corner of the end zone by Lamart Watts.
When you get down in this area of the field, the ball has to be thrown a lot earlier. Christy Jones went to the back of the end zone and had to wait on the football. Frank's got to throw that off a 3-step drop, not a 5-step drop, and then they've got a chance of executing the play. They really want to take advantage of Christy Jones' leaping ability and his height, but you've got to throw it early where he has a shot at it.
2nd and 10 with 23 seconds left in the first. James Stewart up the middle. James Stewart into the end zone. Touchdown Miami. The 11th rushing touchdown of the season for Stewart.
And that's what happens when you run the football. You wear down the defense. You're talking about a defense that's used to playing every down, and this will take effect in the second half. And when you get a guy like James Stewart off to a good start, the second half, he becomes even stronger. Great blocking at the point of attack by the offensive line. No one gets a hand on James Stewart.
James Stewart into the end zone. Miami on the scoreboard with 17 seconds left in the first quarter. And Dane Pruitt, he's got the cast on his left hand. He suffered a severe dislocated ring finger trying to make a tackle late in the pit game last week.
After the score, we have a touchdown, penalized on the kickoff.
You heard the call. You see the padding worn by Pruitt. That's why he can't punt. He can't catch the snap, but he can handle his place-kicking chores.
Yeah, he should still be able to take care of kickoffs and extra points and field goals. He doesn't have to touch the ball. So, he's still there, can help him with the special team, but it really hurts not to have him kicking the punts for him, because he'd been done a very good job replacing Mike Christie.
Well, the Temple Owls earlier this year were able to hold Penn State without a score in the first quarter. They do not keep Miami out of the end zone in the first frame. The Canes on a nice drive. Stewart completed it, and notice how the Canes moved it better when they started putting it in Stewart's hands.
Yeah, when you run the football and you put it into your best football player's hand, which is James Stewart for the Hurricanes on offense, you're going to have production. You're going to score points. And as you see, nothing but a little draw. James Stewart does a good job of reading his block and then getting outside using his speed. Easy touchdown for the Hurricanes. But that's what you expect from the Miami Hurricanes, controlling the football. They've got a big offensive line, and they should be able to wear down this Owls defensive line.
You know, coming into this game, Miami's 35 touchdown drives, the average time of possession, 2 minutes, 44 seconds. Hurricanes right on schedule. That was a 7-play, 68-yard drive, which took 2 minutes and 6 seconds.
And they did it running the football.
James Stewart puts the Hurricanes in front, 7-0. Well, after the penalty, the Hurricanes Hurricanes will kick it from midfield. Jeff Frederick and Tom Indio waiting at the goal line, but if Pruitt gets any kind of boot, they're only for window dressing.
I always wondered, would this be a good time for an onside kick? The worst case scenario, you give up the ball at the 40-yard line. This is an opportune time to take advantage of the penalty. Or do you just kick it out of the end zone and you really gain nothing from the penalty?
Let's see what Pruitt does. Jeff Frederick, 5 yards deep in his end zone, will down it for the touchback.
See, that you gain nothing. They bring the ball out to the 20-yard line. If it's nothing but a pooch punt where you're trying to get them inside the 20-yard line, is how you would expect them to take advantage of that 15-yard penalty.
Coming up on Monday night from the arena in Orlando, NBA action with the Miami Heat and the Orlando Magic. The pregame at 7, the tip at 7:30 right here on Sunshine Network. Always enjoyable, the Battle of Florida, NBA style. Temple still without a first down in the first quarter. Won't get much there. Juan Gaddy not even back to the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by redshirt freshman Marlon Barnes, who just checked in. Well, the Hurricanes are so deep. Greg McMackin, the defensive coordinator, says we've got a unit with 18 starters. Well, not a bad start for Miami. They score late in the first quarter, tack up the 7 points, and after one, it's the Canes 7 and the Owls nothing. Come back to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. A brisk but beautiful day here. I know Nat Moore's got the overcoat on, but the rest of us enjoying this fall weather in November.
You know, when I played, they used to always say this is great football weather. And you know, being a Florida boy coming out of Miami, I didn't understand that. You know, I grew up where if I could sweat, that was good football weather. So when it get a little brisk, it's a little tougher.
That high school, that hairdo would be popular at your old alma mater.
You know,
Miami
back
Edison.
when I played and I wore an afro, I might have could have got to that stage.
Hey, let's go downstairs. Joe Rose has an interesting story for us.
Eric, one of the things they've talked about before the game, the Miami Hurricane coaches were saying we are going to get our defensive linemen in and out of this ball game. They don't want to lose any more guys. Of course, last week, Riley was lost for the season. So you'll see Warren Sapp in and out of this ball game. Right now he's out, but they don't want these guys to play too much on this artificial turf. Back to you guys.
Baraka Short and Dwayne Johnson both into that defensive set for Miami. Burris complete to Baxter. And Baxter making his first catch of the day for Temple's initial first down of the day. Brought down by Carlos Jones. Nice pickup for Baxter. Those are your first quarter numbers. Meager stats on both sides, especially with the Temple offense. Just 6 yards of offense. Your first half stats brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. When you're thirsty, it's got to be a Gatorade. You know, interesting for Mark Baxter. He's made 32 catches. 26 of them have resulted in Temple first downs.
Well, what's even more important about the junior split end is that Mark Baxter's averaging about 18.3 yards per catch, and you know, that's what you got to have, a big guy, a big play guy in your offense to make it go.
On first down, Eugene Colbreth getting his first significant playing time of the season today. Gets a couple of yards before he runs right into the sophomore middle linebacker Ray Lewis, who is the top tackler in the Big East Conference this year.
Ray Lewis is undoubtedly one of the best in college football at the middle linebacker slot because he has great ability to run sideline to sideline and make tackles and does a good job of running through when need to be.
Sidney Morse, the lone setback on 2nd and 8. Great drop for Burris. And nearly intercepted by Chad Wilson. That pass intended for Baxter at the 45.
Chad Wilson had his sights on an INT here. He's reading the quarterback all the way. And we talked in the opening about the ability of Chad Wilson, but the ball is slightly deflected. And that's the only thing, as you see him patting his head there, that if it was not deflected, he had an INT going the other way.
Chad Wilson coming off his best game of the season. Matter of fact, ESPN2 is in Miami to do a feature on Chad Wilson. Not Chad Wilson, the football player. Chad Wilson, the writer. Burris firing, tip, and incomplete. C.J. Richardson had a hand on it. Pass intended for Eugene Colbreth. And Henry Burris, the Big East passing leader, not meeting with much success today. He's 4 for 7 for 19 yards.
Well, Henry Burris is in for a rough day. When you can get pressure out of your front four and drop 7 back in the secondary, there's not a lot of room to throw the football.
John Shea puts that one high in the air. German signals for a fair catch. And fields it on the 1 bounce at the 20-yard line.
I'm really surprised a penalty flag's not dropped there because, you know, Jamie German signaled for the fair catch, and the defender pushed one of the Hurricanes into Jamie German, not allowing him to catch the football. And if you take another look, as you can see, he's not allowed to catch the football, and I don't know how you rule on stuff like that because the guy that actually interfered was a Hurricane.
Yeah, Eugene Ridgely bumping into Jamie German. A 7-0 Miami, 13 and a half minutes to go in the second quarter. And Frank Costa back to the air. Broken up nicely. Intended for Chris Jones and swatted away by Lamart Watts. Now Watts is a senior. He worked his way up from the scout team, but how about this? In his last game at Temple, his first start for Temple.
Well, he picked a great day to get a start, and you know, he came close to having an opportunity to pick that ball off. He did a good job of breaking on the football once it was in the air and was able to come up and keep Christy Jones from coming down with the catch.
Randy Shannon, linebacker coach for Miami, talking to his troops. 2nd and 10 for the Hurricane offense at their own 20. Larry Jones in as the setback. Costa going deep. Incomplete, intended for Chris Jones down at the Temple 43-yard line. And again, Lamart Watts running step for step with Jones. Watts, one of 11 Temple seniors playing in his final game today. And Nat, I tip my hat to the senior class at Temple, not for their deeds, but for hanging in there. This senior class at Temple in 4 years experiencing 6 wins, 37 losses.
It shows a lot of character by the seniors, the ability to say that, you know, Temple is the university that I want to be a part of, and I want to be a part of trying to rebuild and bring something good here, and hanging in there and not giving up.
On 3rd and 10, Costa down the middle, almost picked off by Phil Cox, and he might have gone a long, long way with that football. Costa was looking for Jonathan Harris. The Hurricanes are now 1 out of 5 on 3rd down, and to be honest, not looking very sharp most of the day.
Not looking very sharp at all. If you look here, he's looking at Jonathan Harris all the way. He's trying to get it over the linebacker, and it's just an errant throw that Phil Cox almost came up with his second INT of the day.
Frank Costa, 6 of 14, but he has missed on his last 4 tries. 3rd punt today for Ryan Clement. Some heat put on him. He gets off a pretty good one. Taken in a crowd by Jeff Frederick at the Temple 48-yard line. There is a penalty marker down right around Ryan Clement. I would think that would be roughing the punter, and it is. Against Phil Cox, who nearly had the interception a moment ago.
Well, let's give Ryan Clemens a little credit here. I think his major must be acting because they really didn't get a big shot on him there. As you see, they all ran by him, and he just fell down. It sort of got the attention of the official and got the yellow flag. Good job by Ryan Clemens of drawing the penalty.
Running into the kicker by the defense. 5 yards. Replay, 4th down.
So still not a first down for Miami. That was a 32-yard punt by Clement, who has quite a bit of promise as a quarterback.
Has a lot of promise as a quarterback, but you know, as a freshman, you'll take it any way you can to get on the football field. And you know, he's averaging what, 44 yards per kick so far today. So he's doing a good job, and it just shows you his athletic ability coming out of high school.
Well, the choices for punting today, Clement and A.C. Tellison, both punted in high school, but Tellison been out of high school for 5 years. Clement was there last year, and in trouble here. Oh, disaster for Miami as they incomplete it, and penalty markers everywhere. 4 flags, 5 flags. That's ineligible man downfield, and a disaster for Miami after the roughing call.
Disastrous indeed. But we almost saw what happens when you've got an inexperienced guy in there at the kicking position, as we see the official giving the signal, where Temple is coming after him every punt. They're trying to put pressure on him. He's not getting good snap. But then you see the headiness as a quarterback of trying to get outside, and now he tries to make a great play and come very close to hitting the receiver. But there you have the number 59, which is
Jeffrey Taylor.
Jeffrey Taylor.
Downfield. Also illegal touching, an ineligible downfield to be 5 yards, loss of down.
Very costly penalty.
Indeed, Temple's offense takes over 1st and 10 at Miami's 20-yard line with 12:54 left in the second quarter. There's Greg McMackin, Miami's likable defensive coordinator, and his group's got their work cut out for him right now.
Well, this is where the Hurricane defense stands out, is that when you get down inside the 20-yard line, they don't give up a lot of points. They don't give up a lot of touchdowns. They force the opponents to settle for a field goal, and let's see if they can continue that streak.
Miami's defense has not allowed an offensive touchdown in 16 quarters on the road. Burris has a man in the end zone. Touchdown! Van Johnson of Temple.
Beautiful executed play by the Temple Owls. They ran a fake reverse and faked everybody out. Let's give Henry Burris a lot of credit because everyone thought that Baxter had the football. Instead, Burris calmly rolled out, hit the football, and then hit Vance Johnson in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Beautiful execution by the Temple Owls.
The 20th touchdown pass this year for sophomore Henry Burris and the 5th touchdown grab for Van Johnson, a sophomore out of Washington, D.C. Richard Matson nails the point after, and the turnover in the kicking game bites Miami. Their first road touchdown allowed all season.
Miami was in great shape defensively. They played the reverse.
It's time for the Great Play of the Week, sponsored by GMAC Smart Lease. Want low monthly payments on a new GM vehicle? Call 1-800-32-SMART. 4th and 15 on their own 45, South Carolina punts it away, but the kick is blocked and the ball bounces up right in front of number 13, Mike Harris. He pulls it in and crosses the goal line for a Gator touchdown. This Great Play of the Week, sponsored by GMAC Smart Lease. Call 1-800-32-SMART.
Hi, everyone. Steve Allen here to tell you about an important breakthrough that lets you hear a whisper up to 70 feet away. It's the Whisper XL, an amazing electronic earpiece that lets you hear a pin drop from across the room. The same way binoculars magnify your vision, this tiny device magnifies your hearing. Just slip on the Whisper, turn up the volume, and you're ready for super hearing like never before. Don't turn up the TV, turn on the Whisper XL. Similar devices sell in catalogs for $200 and more. But if you call now, the Whisper XL can be yours for just $29.95. Think of it. Just $29.95 for super powerful hearing. Give us a call and turn up the volume.
To order your Whisper XL, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-652-2112 or send check or money order for $29.95 plus $5.50 shipping and handling to Department S, P.O. Box 4943, Omaha, Nebraska. For faster service, call 1-800-652-2112.
That was the first offensive touchdown allowed in 4 road games for Miami this year, a span of over 16 quarters. Just the second offensive touchdown the Canes have allowed in Big East play.
Let's go back and look at great play action here. I mean, just a fantastic job by Burris of hiding the football and then hitting Vance Johnson all the way in the back of the end zone.
Big time play. Henry Burris, Nat, give him credit. His 20th touchdown pass of his sophomore year.
Yeah, but watch this play action. And look at the job that he does of putting the ball in and hiding it on his hip. Miami is totally fooled at this point. And then you've got Vance Johnson running away in the back of the end zone, wide open for 6.
Chad Wilson tried to recover, could not. Well, Henry Burris is now 2 touchdowns shy from tying Temple's single-season record of 22 touchdown scores in 1 year, a record set by Brian Brummel in 1979. Surprise, surprise. 12:47 to go in the second quarter. And 5th-ranked Miami in a dogfight with unranked Temple. Well, mistakes costing the Hurricanes dearly so far here in the first half.
Miami's hurt hurt themselves. They've hurt themselves with penalties, stopping drives, and then the punt that they weren't able to get off has resulted in a touchdown. And great hit.
I want to tell you, Temple is fired up. Al Shipman on the return, and Robert Kelly, a backup defensive end, laid a lick on Shipman that stopped him in his tracks.
Well, that was just a big hit by Robert Kelly coming down and catching Al Shipman as he's turning on the speed, trying to hit the hole. Here you see Al Shipman reading his block, and here he starts to turn on the afterburners, and boom, Robert Kelly puts the big hit on him.
Put him into spin cycle. Now Frank Costa has missed on his last 4 throws. Let's see what he does on 1st and 10 at the Miami 24-yard line. Give it to James Stewart, and that's always a good move. Stewart rumbling forward over the 35, near the 36, a gain of almost 12 yards before the inside linebacker Andrew Brown brought him down. Brown, by the way, a senior from Miami. He went to Hialeah, Miami Lakes, and there's a good look at Andrew Brown.
Miami can do this all day. They can run the football at will, and I don't understand why they keep getting away from it. They went down last series or series before last and just ran the football, and they come back and they throw it 3 down.
8 carries, 45 yards for Stewart. And it's James Stewart again. Big yardage as he spins for another Miami first down up to the Hurricane 48-yard line. Consecutive 12-yard gains for James Stewart.
This is what happens when you run the football. You get your offensive linemen moving forward. You get them pushing people out. You know, gives them a vote of confidence. They start to feel good about themselves, where when you're backing up pass protection, you're always going backwards. And, you know, Miami's offensive line feel good when they run the football.
James Stewart, Miami's leading ball carrier for the 2nd straight year, putting together a nice first half. Costa down the middle. Complete to Jonathan Harris. Another terrific catch for Harris down to the Temple 27-yard line. Let's see where they spot it. It'll be at the Temple 29.
Good catch by Jonathan Harris, hanging on to the football as he was hit, but you know that was a very dangerous throw. You had 3 or 4 guys around the receiver trying to throw the ball down the middle of the field, and as you can see, everybody's breaking on the football. That's just a good grab by Jonathan Harris. 2nd great catch by him in this ball game.
A 23-yard reception. Costa to Harris. On 1st and 10. Stewart picks up a couple. Adrian Drones, number 43. Corey Green, number 4. And number 89, Deandra McClurkin, all combining to stop James Stewart for a short gain. Ball game is tied at 7. Just under 11 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Jonathan Harris has made 2 big catches down the middle.
2 spectacular catches, and you know that's what you've got to do to help your quarterback out when he's having a rough day. And Jonathan Harris is coming in here today with the idea that he wants to help Frank look good at home.
And help the Hurricanes to their 9th win in 10 games. Temple may have jumped off sides. Flags are down. Yatil Green brought down after the catch at the 5-yard line by Lamart Watts. Yatil Green, another rising star for Miami. The redshirt freshman making his 14th catch of the year.
Well, I think this is going to be called back, Eric.
Offsides on Temple was the preliminary indication. Let's see. They are walking back, though.
Illegal motion on the offense. Offside on the defense. Offset. Replay the down. 2nd down.
Yeah, the play won't stand, but Nat, as a former wide receiver great in the National Football League, what have you seen out of Yatil Green this year, the redshirt freshman?
Well, if we take a look at the running back, you'll see what happens. James Stewart's caught leaning forward. He sort of jumped the gun there, and that's why the penalty was called against the Hurricanes as well. But Yatil Green has tremendous leaping ability and has great concentration.
2nd down and 8. This is for Harris and overthrown. Incomplete. That'll be 3rd down and 8 to go for Miami at the Temple 27.
Well, that last play, if we have a look at it, Jonathan Harris is running an out route, but he's looking back into the sun, and it looked like he was having problems locating the football as Frank tried to get it to him. He was not able to make the adjustment as the football was slightly behind him. As you can see him pointing up into the sun, letting the coach know that he's having problems locating the football coming out of that corner.
Frank Costa 7 for 16, 85 yards here in the first half. Danielle Ferguson just behind Costa. He gets the delay give. Creates a little running room for himself. And gets inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. Nice bit of zipping and zagging for Danielle Ferguson. Pickup of 8 yards.
On that play, Eric, we saw the great footwork of Danielle Ferguson as he made a lot of things happen on his own. He must have made 4 or 5 would-be tacklers miss him. Here you see great feet as you see him make the first initial tackle miss him, Tim Terry. Then the second guy has a shot at him. Third guy. Now watch him spin out of this and picks up an additional 2 or 3 yards. That's just excellent individual effort by Danielle Ferguson.
Nice bit of work for the sophomore out of Columbus High School in Miami. Picks up the first down on the Temple 19-yard line. Stewart back in as the lone setback. Here comes James. And he bangs down to the 10-yard line. A 9-yard gain for James Stewart, who is responsible for Miami's lone touchdown today, a 12-yard burst. And you can see the yardage per carry for the Miami backs. They come at you in numbers.
When you've got that kind of depth in your offensive backfield, you can understand why the Hurricanes continued to win when they lost a guy like James Stewart for a couple ball games.
Those are their averages for the season.
10.3.
Amazing. Just under 9 minutes left, second quarter. Hurricanes and Temple tied at 7. Stewart slips coming to the line of scrimmage and just does get back to the 10-yard line.
There we saw the effect of this turf. I played here in Philadelphia several times, and it is a very tough field to play on, especially if it gets wet and with all the seams. James Stewart is going into the line of scrimmage here. Let's take another look at it as you look at the center of your screen. He's going in there, and he wants to make a cut, and the feet goes out from under him, and that's what happens on a bad turf, is that once it gets wet, it's hard to maintain your footing.
So 3rd down, a yard to go for Miami at the Temple 10-yard line. Brothers Stewart, the first down and then some. 1st and goal for Miami, just inside the Temple 5.
That's just good hard running by James Stewart, but let's give that offensive line some support. Zeb Lemelski, Alan Simonet, Casey Jones, Jay Ena, Ricky Perry. They're just doing a good job of blowing that defensive front off the football. No one is putting a hand on James Stewart until he's into the secondary. Good tough running, but great blocking at the point of attack.
James Stewart rushed for his 11th touchdown. Late in the first quarter, the Hurricanes looking for more here on 1st and goal at the Temple 5. Stewart gets to the 1. Brought down by the strong side safety, Ted McDuffie. Frank Costa getting the play from the Miami bench. 2nd down, goal to go from the Temple 1. Ball game tied at 7, and the Hurricanes looking to jump back in front again. German and Harris to the right. Stewart, the lone setback. Ball came loose, but a touchdown has been signaled by the side judge. It's a touchdown for Miami, and the 2nd score of the day, the 12th of the year for James Stewart.
Just good running by James Stewart. You hate to see the ball on the ground, but the ball came loose after he had crossed the goal line, so Miami's credited with a touchdown. Good blocking and running by the Hurricanes.
James Stewart with well over 1,100 career yards, looking today for his 5th 100-yard game. Dan Pruitt's point after splits the uprights. Well, shortly after Temple scores to tie the game, the come back with a beautiful 13-play, 80-yard touchdown drive, and it's 14-7 Miami. Philadelphia, it's been the James Stewart Show for the Hurricanes. The junior running back from Vero Beach, Florida, 15 carries, 78 yards, and both Hurricane touchdowns.
Well, you know, James Stewart is on a record pace to break a record that's been there since 1938. Eddie Dunnan with 14 TDs for a season, and James Stewart is on a pace to break it today if they continue to run the football. Let's take another look at that last touchdown. As you can see, the offensive line, K.C. Jones coming out, getting his block. Good job of James Stewart jumping through and crossing the goal line for the touchdown.
Stewart rushed for 604 yards as a backup last year. He came into today's game averaging 5 yards a carry with 576 yards on the season. Keep in mind he missed 2 games with an ankle injury. So after this first half, he has already surpassed his total from a year ago. 1,000 yards for a Hurricane running back in one season. Not a goal that you could think about too often with the way they throw the football, but it's something that Stewart might be able to do. Well, that kickoff taken by Temple's Raphael Mack, and he brings it across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Let's go downstairs and visit with Joe Rose.
Eric, one advantage the Hurricanes thought they'd have today against the Temple Owls has been the play of the line, and you've seen it so far today. The offensive line doing a great job. When the passing game shuts down, they know they can always go back to that old reliable running game, and it's here today. Back to you.
Here's assistant head coach and offensive line mentor Greg Smith talking to his gang. 6:49 left, second quarter. Henry Burris dialing one, going up top, and firing incomplete. You know, Henry Burris, an enthusiastic leader of this Temple team, an irrepressible young man. Ron Dickerson loves this guy. Great student, studies the game, wants to be good.
Well, that's what it takes, the dedication and hard work, and you know, Henry Burris has shown that, and Ron Dickerson is excited about not only this year but having him back next year as a junior with the idea that he's got a leader in Henry Burris.
2nd and 10. Burris complete to Mark Baxter up to the 33-yard line. That's pickup of 8. Will bring up a 3rd down and 2. Carlos Jones, the sophomore, knocking him out. You see the Temple offense passing yardage and setting the all-time single-season record this year. One of 8 Temple records that Henry Burris has been responsible for.
Well, the reason you can see today why Henry Burris has been able to throw for over 2,600 yards is his ability. Once he makes a decision as to where he's going to go with the football, it gets there in a hurry.
3rd and 2. Burris already has thrown a 20-yard touchdown pass today. Under a rush from Sapp and Johnson. We told you he can gun it and run it. He scampers across the 35 and has the Temple first down. James Burgess running Burris out of bounds. This is a guy, Henry Burris, that threw for 392 yards, 4 touchdowns in 32 completions against Syracuse.
Well, he has the ability to make it happen. Look, as we take a look, he wants to go to his left, but he sees the pressure. Now, watch the awareness of Henry Burris is here. He sees James Burgess, he spots the sticks, and he knows exactly where he has to go to get the first down before he gets out of bounds. Good smart play by Henry Burris.
6:26 left in the second. Miami in front, 14-7. That's the 3rd first down today for Temple. Colbert dropped the ball, took a real wallop from James Burgess. Ferocious hitting James Burgess, the sophomore from Homestead. He made Eugene Colbreth pay for the bobble. Well, that's a loss of 6 yards.
Well, James Burgess is a kid out of Homestead High School that reminds you a lot of Michael Barrow, who also came out of Homestead. That's a big hitter that will come after you, and when he gets a shot, he will take it. He just basically levied Eric there. Oh, Eugene Colbert, that is. I'm sorry.
He could have leveled me as well.
Good ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. 15 yards. 2nd down.
That's a costly sequence for Temple.
We're too close to him. He wouldn't hit us.
We like James Burgess too much for that. He's the second leading tackler on Miami this year. Burgess today making his 7th start of the season, his 4th in a row. With the injury to Rohan Marley, they were splitting starts early on. But the last 2 weeks, James Burgess has been Miami's defensive player of the week. On second down 31, Ray Lewis stopping Eugene Colbreth. Of course, Ray Lewis, a guy whose name you often call throughout the course of a day. Good reason for it. He averages over 14 tackles a game.
And that's not just because of his athletic ability. Ray Lewis is also a student of the game. He's very smart. Last time the Owls was in this position, 2nd and long, they ran a draw for big yardage. This time, Ray Lewis sat in there, was not going to have it.
Well, defensive coordinator Greg McMackin speaking on just that subject this week says Lewis has a great sense of where the play is. Burris on 3rd and long going deep, and it's broken up by Carlos Jones. Excellent coverage on the intended receiver, Van Johnson, and the sprinter, Carlos Jones, who possesses 4.3 speed, had no problem staying with Johnson.
Well, Carlos Jones showed a lot of patience. You see Henry Burris try and go a pump fake on a stop and go and try and hit Vance Johnson deep, but Carlos Jones is back in great position, playing the ball, playing the quarterback's eyes all the way, and refused to get beat for the big play.
Burris put that ball 55 yards in the air. Good bounce for John Shea as German retreats. And it's down at the Miami 23-yard line. There is a penalty marker down at the 44. That punt for Shea traveled 58 yards. His 2nd punt today that has traveled more than 50. His 6th punt of the first half. You better believe the right leg of Shea is getting a workout.
Well, John Shea is a big offensive weapon for the Owls. You know, he's booting that ball 50-plus yards.
Ball. Personal foul on the kicking team. 15 yards. First down.
Well, Miami adds 15 yards to it. There's Ron Dickerson, former defensive coordinator at Clemson, giving one of his players an earful.
Ed Stranick was called on the penalty, and you see Ron Dickerson venting a little dissatisfaction.
We'll be right back with more Miami Temple Big East football after this. And Nat Moore, I'm Eric Reed. Welcome back to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where Frank Costa has led Miami to 2 scoring drives in this first half. Costa's numbers, 7 for 16, 85 yards. James Stewart, 15 carries, 78 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Well, that's the story. James Stewart's running with the football has got Miami back in front in this ball game, and you know, that's what they've got to continue to do. Push the football up the field, and they'll score a lot of points if they run the football. Offensively, they can score quick, running or throwing the football, and you like to have the balanced attack. But as they run the football, throwing the football will become a lot easier.
Tough game for the Dolphins this week at Pittsburgh. Review it on Monday Night Dolphin Magazine, and note the early start time at 6. Well, I don't suppose at this juncture Dennis Erickson is too pleased with the first half. Although the Frank Costa fan club is enjoying the warm weather on that far side of the field.
But Dennis knows that they can run the football, but he's trying to get his passing attack back on track and trying to build Frank's confidence. And there we see an excellent throwing catch by Frank Costa to his #1 receiver, Chris T. Jones, for a big first down.
Alan Jackson brought down Chris T. Jones at the Temple 42-yard line. A big gainer there from Costa to Jones.
Miami just spreads the field, and Frank Costa does a good job of lining the ball in on a post pattern to Chris T. Jones.
25-yard pickup, and the second catch today for Jones. 4:35 left, second quarter. Miami in front, 14-7. Jerry Jones in the backfield, and Chris T. Jones makes another nice fingertip grab and is wrestled out by Lamart Watts at the Temple 32. That's a 5-yard gain.
That's a change. Last series, Miami ran the football. We come back this series in the efforts of getting ready, looking at the future. Dennis Erickson is trying to build the confidence of Frank Costa. by continually throwing the football, and he's doing a good job in this drive.
Costa has completed 2 in a row. He's now 9 for 18, 115 yards. 2nd and 5. Larry Jones, the senior from Gainesville, gets his first carry and makes much of it down to the 20-yard line. 12-yard gain. Penalty marker follows. McDuffie and Watts on the stop. Coming up with the football was Corey Green after the whistle. It's a hold on Miami, so it will come back.
That's why there was such a big hold there.
Well, much made in the South Florida newspapers this week about certain comments attributed to Dennis Erickson. Perhaps entertaining offers from elsewhere. Was it much ado about nothing or something?
Well, I think that let's take a look at the instant replay and see if we can see who the hold's on. And let's take a good look at, I think it's number 66, Alan Simonette here. Alan Simonette as to the holding call. And once again brings it back. But getting back to Dennis, I think Dennis is in a position where, he's done about everything he can do at UM, unless he continue to win another championship. And if the opportunity presents himself for him to...
Gerard Daphnis on the catch, ducking inside the Temple 25 down to the 24. That's an 11-yard pickup on 2nd and 8. First down, Miami. Continue.
But if the opportunity presents itself, let's take another look at Gerard Daphnis, because he makes a great catch, a one-handed catch here, and then does a good job of turning upfield, getting as much yardage as he can out of the reception. But Dennis, if the opportunity presents itself for him to get a head job in the NFL, that's a feather in the cap. That's what every coach strives for, and he's just saying that at this time he would consider it. He still would like to stay at the University of Miami, of course.
From the 24, 1st and 10. Costa with all sorts of time. In and out of the hands of Jamie German. That would have been his 3rd touchdown catch of the year. It was gift wrapped and ready to go, but he dropped it.
But I like what I saw Frank Costa do in that series there. He's trying to get the ball to Jonathan Harris going through the center, but then he reloads because he's not open. And what Jamie German did wrong here, he tried to body catch the football. When you're that open, you want to make sure the catch, you want to catch it in your hands. Now he's got to go and catch it in his hands for the touchdown. That ball should have been caught. Frank Costa should have a touchdown to his credit. Touchdown pass to his credit.
German had Marshman beat about 5 yards. 2nd and 10 with 3:15 left in the 2nd quarter. Again, a ton of time for Costa, who is taken down, and that'll be a late hit. Costa got to the 20-yard line. Alshermond Singleton, the strong side linebacker, was honing in on Costa, brought him down out of bounds.
The officials say that he hit him when he didn't have to after he had crossed the white stripes. And once they cross those white stripes, those sideline markers, you've got to pull back. I don't know about that, huh? He just he caught him in the field of play, and he just went on through with the tackle. But that's a tough call against the Temple Owls there.
Alshermond Singleton, number 94, victimized on that call. 3 minutes, 5 seconds left, first half here at the Vet in Philadelphia. Miami leading Temple 14-7. Both touchdowns coming from James Stewart, who's not in the game right now. Larry Jones, the lone setback. Harris to the right, Tellison and Yatil Green to the left. Here comes Larry Jones. Touchdown, Miami.
Miami just did a good job of stopping penetration. They caught Temple in the blitz, and then let's give those outside receivers some credit, because they did a good job of blocking their men downfield, enabling Larry Jones to get into the end zone. Here you see the offensive line just doing a good job of getting a stalemate. Jonathan Harris blocking downfield. A.C. Tellison and Yatil Green. Good job by all of the receivers of helping Larry Jones get into the end zone.
Not surprised that you, Nat Moore, notice wide receivers blocking.
Well, you know, as a wide receiver, I always say that you get hit all the time, and whenever you get an opportunity to hit somebody else, you've got to be smiling.
Well, Dane Pruitt splitting the uprights. Miami's third rushing touchdown today. It comes from Larry Jones, a 10-yard touchdown run. And for Jones, it's his fourth rushing touchdown of the year. An 8-play, 62-yard drive in a minute 49, actually a minute 59, for the Miami Hurricanes, who now lead by 14 points.
Well, that's what we expected coming into this ball game, to see Miami go up and down the field offensively, and they didn't get started in the right foot, but now they've turned it around and they've been able to go down and score on the last couple of possessions.
Well, the Hurricanes showing off their depth at the running back position today.
Here you see just a good job of stretching the defense with the offense doing a good job of blocking at the point of attack. And then good, tough running by Larry Jones to pick up the last couple yards to get into the end zone, as you see him running over Phil Cox there in the end.
Larry Jones, number 23. Remember the 92 Orange Bowl, Miami beating Nebraska? Larry Jones does. He was the most valuable player in that game. 30 carries, 144 yards. How do you evaluate the homecoming for Frank Costa today? We'll talk about that after this kickoff. Again taken on the short kick by Raphael Mack. He brings it up across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Raphael Mack was the starting tailback at Temple a year ago. Frank Costa's shown us some things today, including poise in the pocket, finding a secondary receiver.
Well, he's had a few errant throws that where he's looked bad, but most of all, you'd have to give him a B as far as his decision making. He's done a good job of not throwing the football up for grabs. He's done a good job of coming off the primary receiver, finding secondary receivers, and most of all, he's shown the patience that when it's not there, to pull it down and run with it and try and get the first down. So let's give Frank Costa the B up to this point.
10 for 20, 126 yards for Miami's senior quarterback. 2:54 left in the half. Henry Burris gunning it complete to Van Johnson. That was sophomore flanker from Washington, D.C. He's the man that caught the 20-yard touchdown pass earlier. Ran a nice down and out for a Temple first down.
Well, Vance Johnson just does a good job here of running a good sideline route where Henry Burris shows you the cannon that he has of throwing that out route. A lot of young quarterbacks cannot throw that particular pass. Henry Burris has the ability to do so because he can get it out there to Vance Johnson.
Henry Burris, 8 of 15, 58 yards in the first half. On the draw, this is Eugene Colbreth with some room. Eugene Colbreth upended by C.J. Richardson at midfield and went leaping forward for 3 more yards to the Miami 46-yard line.
There you see Frank talking upstairs, trying to get more information, so when he comes back in, he can take him down and put more points on the board. Let's give Temple some credit, though. They're very intelligent in their play selection. They keep coming with the draw, taking advantage of Miami's defensive line that's always rushing the quarterback. Great catch by Mark Baxter there on a flanker screen.
Baxter getting to the 39-yard line in Miami territory, but a penalty marker down. That last run for Colbreth was a 16-yarder. And an illegal man downfield for Temple. Elnett, you were at the game last week, Miami against Pittsburgh. The Hurricane defense giving up 160 yards on 34 carries to Pitt running back Billy West. He's the first back to exceed 150 yards against Miami since Marshall Faulk back in 1991.
But Billy West is a fine tailback, and he's one of those no-nonsense type backs. He runs north and south, no east and west, and you know that's why he had a great game last week. He was able to run right at Miami, and the only way you have success versus this Hurricane team is you run at them. You cannot run around them and run away from them because they've got too much team speed.
Well, Miami's defense, the Hurricanes #1 nationally in total defense, #1 nationally in scoring defense, and first as well in pass efficiency defense. Doesn't get much better than that.
Well, you know, when you got a defense as good as the University of Miami, all you say is please, offensively, don't do anything to hurt us. Just give us a chance to stay in the ball game, and we'll find a way to win it. And Miami's defense has done that throughout the year, given the offense the football in great field position, made it a short field for the offense.
The injured Temple Owl is their starting center, Tom Berger, a 6'3", 265-pound sophomore out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Ran into John Summerday, his own teammate on that offensive line. Now Joe Rose at the half has it all set up for you. Greg Angelos, Miami's assistant athletic director in charge of compliance, and Art Hertz from the Orange Bowl committee. They'll both talk with our very own Joe Rose, a former teammate of yours and now a media superstar. Now,
did you say superstar? You got to put 2 supers in there for Joe.
I did not get that memo. On 1st and 15, here's the end around to Eugene Culbreth, and he is escorted out of bounds by Kennard Lang and Warren Sapp right into that Temple Owl bench.
Good job by Kennard Lang of staying at home. Freshman defensive end that was not fooled on the play, didn't chase, stayed at home, and was able to come out with the play to stop the reverse.
Big Kennard Lang, 6'4", 251. He's from Orlando, began the season as the backup to Rusty Medeiros. Today, his 7th straight start. He's competitive, strong, and getting better by the week.
Has 8 sacks to his credit coming into today's ball game.
Second only to Warren Sapp. Minute 48 left, second quarter. 2nd and 16. Arlen Barnes on the blitz, complete to Sidney Morse, and he gets just inside Miami territory to the 49-yard line, where Carlos Jones and Twan Russell put a stop to it. Pickup of just 3. It'll be 3rd and 13 for Henry Burris and Temple.
Well, Miami had a lot of pressure that time. They was able to get somebody in Henry Burris's face, and he was not able to look downfield, so he came off to Morris just to get rid of the football, and Sidney Morris made a positive play out of nothing.
Twan Russell, sophomore from Fort Lauderdale. Valuable outside linebacker reserve. Hurricanes have called timeout. A nice chat with Greg McMackin, the Hurricane defensive coordinator this week. Now, you talk about how good this Hurricane defense is this year. McMackin told me he doesn't anticipate starting a single senior on defense next year.
That's a trademark of the Hurricane football program. You know, they redshirt their freshmen, so therefore every player has that extra year of growing. I think Ray Lewis was the first true freshman to play on the Dennis Erickson, and you know what you get is experience. When these guys step on the field, you say they're a sophomore, but they've got experience from sitting out a year, being redshirted, and just learning the system. And Miami has a tremendous defensive system that no matter who's the defensive coordinator, and Greg McMackin has done a tremendous job, they continue to impress and win ball games.
Greg McMackin, the defensive coordinator for the Canes, taking Tommy Tuberville's spot, former defensive coordinator at the Naval Academy and the University of Utah. Now some Hurricane fans here in Philadelphia. Hurricane fans are everywhere.
I'd like to say hello to the family of Danielle Ferguson there. You'll see them around here somewhere today. I'm pretty sure that our cameraman will get a shot before the day is over with, and you'll see at least 36 to 40 #1 Hurricane jerseys somewhere in the stands.
Eugene Culbreth takes the snap. I don't know what Temple's trying to do here. He throws it up for grabs, and Carlos Jones had the best shot at it on 3rd down and 13 with 1:28 left in the second quarter. It's 21-7 Miami, and a punting situation here for John Shea.
Well, that was just a screwy play, to say the least there, Eric. It never developed, never had any chance of being successful, and Temple's just fortunate enough to get away without an interception.
John Shea back to punt for the 7th time here in the first half. Jamie German awaits at the Miami 14. Oh my, at the 1 and bounces in. Just a little too strong. for John Shea. A 49-yard punt for the junior out of Philadelphia. He's the third-year starter at punter for Temple. And the Hurricanes will get it. 1st and 10. They're on 20-yard line. Minute 18 left. Time enough with the Hurricanes in front, 21-7.
Well, here's an opportunity that the Hurricanes get to work on their 2-minute offense. You never know when you're going to need it, and today is a golden opportunity, so I expect to see Frank Costa come out throwing the football and just try and move the ball down, get in field goal range.
German and Tellison to the right, Harris and Jones to the left, top of your screen, and Al Shipman, the lone setback behind Costa. Mix up on the exchange, loose football taken by Shipman. Look out, here comes Shipman across the 40 and out of bounds right there. So on a mix-up in the exchange, Al Shipman, who averages 10 yards a carry, gains 20.
Good awareness by Al Shipman. The ball is rolling around on the ground. He picks it up and takes a negative play, turns it into a positive play with 20-plus yards. As you can see, Frank Costa pulled out earlier, and there's the ball bouncing around. Al Shipman just picks it up and said, look what I found. Now, here is just a tremendous job by the defender, number 27, Lamar Watts, of keeping Shipman from going for the touchdown. It's nobody but he and a blocker, and Al Shipman, he comes down with the play.
A minute 8 left, second quarter. Costa looking for Tellison, finds his man, and Tellison goes to the 48-yard line in Miami territory. Pickup of 8. Orrin Marshman stopping A.C. Tellison. For Tellison, it's his 14th catch of the year. He's a 5th-year senior from Bay City, Texas.
A.C. Tellison's really been playing great of late. He had a rough start early in the year and has been coming up with a lot of big catches. And here you see him once again coming up with a catch, getting out of bounds, stopping the clock.
Good point about Tellison. After a slow start, he had 6 catches the last 2 weeks. Remember, he caught 26 balls last year and averaged 21 yards a catch.
Well, he was a starter last year and lost his starting job to Jamie German. And he's now working his way back into the lineup where he's getting more playing time and producing. 2nd and 3 with a minute left in the half, and nearly picked off by Alan Jackson. He read the down and out as well as you can. Broke on the football and broke it up. Intended for Jamie German. Alan Jackson just did a good job of reading Frank Costa's eyes, but he just sat. He never went for the play when the offensive receiver tried to drive him off. He settled, and when you get a guy settling, and he did it earlier in the ball game, eventually you want to go over the top, but you can't do it right now because he's expecting it.
Balance in Miami's offensive attack today.
And that's what they're striving for, the ability to throw and run the football.
What will they do here on 3rd and 3? Put it in the hands of the frogman, Al Shipman. 1st down and more. Drop the football, and Jamie German was there to hop right on it. Lamart Watts on the stick of Al Shipman. But I'll tell you what, this sophomore from West Palm Beach, Florida, number 32, he'll make your heart skip a beat. He can really get up and go.
The most explosive player on the Hurricane football team. Anytime he's got the ball in his hand, you expect excitement. As you can see, he does a good job of picking his block. He realizes he's got to get out of bounds, stop the clock. Fumbles the football, but Jamie German is aware and gets on top of the football and actually knocks it out of bounds to stop the clock. 3
rushes, 50 yards last week against Pittsburgh. His season high, 130 yards in the opener on 5 carries against Georgia Southern. 1st and 10 with 45 seconds left in the half. Costa buying time, looking for German and finds him. Jamie German with the reception at the 22-yard line. A 24-yard pickup, and the clock is stopped with 35 seconds left in the first half.
Excellent job by Frank Costa. He feels the pressure, then he works out to his right. He sees he's got a defender. He strides out, and as you can see, Jamie German comes back to the football. This is what a receiver has to do when his quarterback's in trouble. Come back, help the quarterback out. Good job by Jamie German and Frank Costa.
Alan Jackson on the coverage. Those are German's numbers before the day. That's his 2nd catch this afternoon. Frank Costa, unofficially, 12 for 23, 158 yards in the first half. Hurricanes in front, 21-7. 35 seconds to go, and Miami has taken a timeout. They still have one to go.
And Frank has done a good job of turning it around. Earlier, he was struggling midway during the ball game or the first quarter. But now he's gotten his confidence back. He's putting the ball on the money. He's made some sharp throws. And, that's what you got to have from your leader. If you're going to be able to play on New Year's Day for your possible 5th national championship, that leadership has to come from the quarterback position. And Frank Costa is the man.
Dennis Erickson. All he's done at Miami is win 61 of his 69 games coached there, a percentage of 88%. Began his career as a graduate assistant coach at his alma mater, Montana State, back in 1969. And you talk about pressure, coaching a football program like Miami. His club goes 9-3 last year, and you would have thought the world swallowed up the Hurricanes.
95% of the teams that play Division I football would be tickle pink with a 9-3 record.
1st and 10 Hurricanes at the Temple 21-yard line. 35 seconds left, first half. Great catch. Yatiel Green reached out and pulled it in at the 15-yard line, a 6-yard pickup.
We talked about Yatiel Green earlier, and that's what you see about Yatiel Green. It really excites you when you see this young receiver. The ability to adjust to the football, but he catches it in his hands. Watch his hands there. Great job of just stretching out, catching the football, making sure of the grab.
Long and lean, Yatiel Green from Lake City, Florida. Boy, that's a promising young receiver for Miami.
Yeah, most programs around the country would kill to have the talent at the skill position that the Hurricanes have. You've got 4 running backs or fullbacks that could play anywhere, and you've got 6 or 7 wide receivers that are as good as anywhere in the country. So Miami is stacked in the skill positions, and that's why they continue to win year after year.
Hurricanes use their final timeout of the first half. 29 seconds to play. Miami in front, 21-7. Dennis Erickson, I think he handles the pressure pretty well with that wry and dry sense of humor.
Dennis? Dry? No. Dennis has done a tremendous job. When you're in a program like this, it's a pressure cooker, and he's been able to continue to win and do it his way, and that's what's important.
Out of the shotgun on 2nd down and 4 from the Temple 15-yard line. German makes the catch and is brought down by Oren Marshman at the 8-yard line. No times out left for Miami. Clock runs.
But Miami gets a break on every first down.
Yes.
They stop the clock to move the chains, so Miami has the opportunity to get up to the ball and be ready to go after the chains are set and ground the football.
It is 1st and goal for the Canes at the Temple 9. Clock running, 17 seconds left, and Costa able to stop it with 15 seconds left. Hurricanes fortunate that Costa to German pickup was good enough for a first down. It did stop the clock long enough for the Canes to get set.
Well, the Hurricanes and Frank Costa are showing great clock management. You get the ball with 1:30 seconds, and you move it down, and you've been able to move it down inside your opponent's 10-yard line with an opportunity to score more points, whether it's a touchdown or field goal attempt.
The shadows have covered Veterans Stadium, but it is a beautiful afternoon. Nothing but blue skies overhead. Late pocket, 2. Costa out of a shotgun for German. The end zone. He had made the catch but ran out of room. But you like to see German coming up with that play nonetheless.
Well, that was just a great catch by Jamie German. And there you see, versus the one that he dropped, he catches the ball in his hands. He lays out, just doing a good job, good at concentration, lays out for the football. I don't know. He might have been in.
It looked like he left his feet and then came down and his chest hit out of bounds. Let's take a look.
That's just good concentration and adjusting on the football. Looked like he's in to me.
I think it was a good call, but a great effort by German. 3rd and goal, 9 seconds left. Costa puts it up in the air, but Chris Jones could not get near it.
Good job by Lamar Watts of just forcing Chris Jones so far out wide that he was not able to get back to the football.
4 seconds to play in the second period. Miami leading by 14, and Dane Pruitt will attempt a 25-yard field goal. Out of the hold of Mike Crissy. And now Temple takes timeout. Pruitt this year has made 9 of his 10 field goal tries, 32 career field goals. There's Ron Dickerson, took this job a year ago after Jerry Burt struggled with this Temple program. The Owls have had just 1 winning season in their last 10. Can Ron Dickerson turn it around here?
Well, he's got a tough job ahead of him, but he realized that coming in here, and the athletic program and the president and everybody realized that it's going to take him a while to turn it around. To get the quality players that are necessary, it takes years. You just don't do that overnight. And what you see offensively, they've been able to turn it around. They're more prolific offensively, and defensively, they're going to get better. Their problem right now, Eric, is that they don't have any depth in the different positions.
We'll talk more about the job Ron Dickerson has done and is doing in our second half. Pruitt's field goal finds its way through the uprights from 25 yards out. The last play of the first half. 3 points for Miami.
You can't do it any better than that, Eric. You take the ball a minute, 31 seconds, move it down, and get a field goal out of it. You know, that's what you strive for when you're trying to get better, and that's what Miami's trying to do today. Get better for the end of the season.
2 touchdown runs for James Stewart, and a very nice first half homecoming for Frank Costa. It's the Hurricanes 24, Temple 7.
The world of Makita design. Innovating. Always a leader. So how do you make the best even better? Throw away the key. Makita. It's all the power you need. For a limited time, receive a free extra battery with your Makita purchase.
Don't let a new car payment get you all wound up. Get Smart Lease by GMAC. It can put a new spin on affordability. Don't let a new truck payment stretch you to the limit. Get Smart Lease by GMAC. It keeps new vehicles well within reach.
Miami Hurricane basketball. We've got your game. The best in college basketball comes to Miami Arena as the Hurricanes host exciting Big East Conference action. See the Canes as they host the 6 Big East teams that played in the NCAA tournaments: Georgetown, Syracuse, Connecticut, Seton Hall, Providence, and Boston College. Your Miami basketball season ticket also includes the Orange Bowl Basketball Classic versus the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV. For Miami basketball season tickets, call 1-800-GO-CANES.
Halftime at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia on a beautiful autumn afternoon. Eric Reed with Nat Moore and Joe Rose. We hope you have enjoyed the first half right along with us. Hurricanes started slowly in the first quarter. Nat self-destructing a tad, but getting their act together on both sides of the football. A 17-point halftime lead to show for it.
But the way that they did it, Eric, is they started to run the football. They started to control the football, wear down the Owl defense, and then blend in the passing so that they've got a balanced passing attack. Frank Costa got hot, was able to throw a couple balls, get him down into scoring position. So Miami is doing what they want to do offensively now, and that's what's going to help them get better for next week.
Frank Costa, playing at home for the first time in his college career, throws for 171 yards in the first half, 14 for 27, and spreading it around now. He completed passes to 7 different receivers, and James Stewart, he's rushed for 78 yards and 2 scores. Let's go downstairs. Joe Rose standing by with a special halftime guest, Art Hurst of the Orange Bowl Committee. For the Hurricanes.
Well, that's what you expect from this Hurricane offensive football team. But the most critical thing and what they have suffered from in the last few ball games when they do not get that running attack going is that they are not losing in the battle of time of the possession.
And for Miami, James Stewart, 15 carries, 78 yards. Frank Costa, 14 for 28. He has 171 yards through the air. When we come back to Veterans Stadium, we'll show you the first half highlights. At halftime, Miami leads Temple 24. There's Ron Dickerson trying to rebuild this Temple football program. Very down-to-earth man. Very honest with his players. I asked him how he dealt with the tough season that Temple was having. He says you got to be honest with your players. He tries to stress the positives. And he says if the kids play hard the entire game, it's a successful day for Temple.
Well, the one thing about honesty, Eric, is that these kids are no fools. They're no dummies. They know coming into this ball game what their chances are. And as a coach, if you lie to them, they lose respect for you. You know, what he's trying to get his team to understand is that they've got to get better week in and week out with the idea that in the next couple years, they're going to be a competitive football team, and they're going to beat the Miamis and teams of that nature because they hung in there and didn't give up.
We are getting set for the second half to begin. It is Richard Matson, number 47, and the Miami return men, Tony Gator to the left, Al Shipman to the right. Gator wearing number 22. Haven't seen him yet in today's game. He's a sophomore out of Miami's Killian High School and a junior college transfer from San Bernardino. Miami's lead as we open the third quarter. Now Shipman on the back pedal. He's going to come out from 2 yards deep. Across the 20, across the 30, and tight ropes the sideline all the way up to the 30. It looks like they're spotting it at the 37-yard line for Al Shipman. Here's a look at the first half for the Hurricanes. You see it was a slow start. 2 punts, an interception before James Stewart got Miami on the board with his 12-yard touchdown run. Hurricanes will start the third quarter with Gerard Daphnis at tight end, A.C. Tellison and Chris Jones, the wide receivers.
Personal foul on the return team, 15 yards. First down, 10 yards.
You heard the call. Jonathan Harris at flanker, James Stewart at the running back spot. The offensive center is K.C. Jones. The guards, Alan Simonette and Jay Ina. The tackles, Zev Lemelski and Ricky Perry. And not enough credit given to K.C. Jones, Miami's starting center, the quiet leader. Today is 22nd consecutive start. He is a warrior in the middle of that Miami front. From the 21, first down, Costa down the middle, complete to Gerard Daphnis, the big tight end, across the 45 to the 46.
Big target,
24-yard gain.
Big target over the middle with good hands, and Frank Costa did a good job going back play action and finding Gerard Daphnis running through the middle of the zone for the big play. Here you see good play action fake by James Stewart, and Frank guns it there to Gerard Daphnis, tucks the ball away, gets upfield, picks up an additional 4 or 5 yards.
Second catch today for the sophomore out of Miami's Norland High School. His 8th catch this year. From the Miami 46, this is James Stewart. And he gets a couple of tough yards to the 48, maybe the 49-yard line. Brought down by Corey Green and Orrin Marshman. James Stewart nearing the 100-yard mark today. He's now at 81. Well, that's got to help you. 11 yards, Miami's average on first down.
If you average 11, how do you have a second down?
Don't get us into this. I won't know how to get us out. On second down, Stewart straight ahead in the Temple turf. Pickup of 5 yards. Tim Terry, number 36, the defensive end, able to bring Stewart down. And that will bring us to third down and 5 on Miami's first at bat. Your here in the third quarter. Hurricanes not only want to win today, Dennis Erickson wants to win impressively.
Wants to win impressively, but one of the other things that the Hurricanes offensively wanted to work on today was their third down efficiency. And here's another opportunity where it's third and medium, 3rd and 5, and they need to come up with the first down.
Trent Jones, the man in motion. Costa steps out and finds Jones, who falls down at the Temple 41-yard line. An 8-yard pickup, a Miami first down.
Just a little crossing play where you run Trent Jones in motion, and then you circle him back over the middle. And Trent has the ability that once he makes the catch, he can get it in the end zone in a hurry. So this is a play that Miami likes to run in this situation. Frank is looking at him all the way, comes underneath, catches the ball as he starts to make the turn to go upfield. Bad turn, slips and falls.
Second catch this afternoon for Trent Jones. 1st and 10 Miami at the Temple 42. Jermaine Chambers in at a wide receiver spot, but that one intended for Chris Jones. Incomplete, covered well by Lamart Watts. Jermaine Chambers in the ball game for Miami now, as the Hurricanes begin to play some other folks. Chambers, a sophomore out of Homestead. He wears number 80.
Miami's starting to make wholesale changes. Marcus Welby is also coming in. Wimberly, I'm sorry. Marcus Wimberly is also coming in. And you've got Danielle Ferguson. So
we may need Marcus Welby by day's end if this continues. Here's Danielle Ferguson zigging and zagging and picking up nearly 10 yards on 2nd and 10. Well, he's a dasher, Danielle Ferguson, and a much improved player from his first season.
The difference in Danielle Ferguson now, he's slightly injured. Let's hope it's nothing serious.
I knew we'd need Marcus Welby.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Marcus Welby was one of my favorite TV shows growing up as a kid. But we've got our own Marcus Welby with the University of Miami. His name is John Uribe. Great orthopedic surgeon. Actually did some work for me. Here you see the draw play, and let's see if we can see what happened and how Danielle got hurt here. He's just doing a good job of reading his block, and looked like he just lost his footing, like he slipped.
Hopefully not a turf injury. Ferguson jogs off and looks to be okay, and that's good news for Miami. Adrian Drones was the man that got to Ferguson initially. It's 3rd down and 4 for Miami. 3 minutes in to the third quarter. If you're just finding us, get comfortable. Stick around a while. It's 24-7 Miami. Tellison to the bottom of your screen. Chris Jones to the top. The lone setback, James Stewart. Incomplete, intended for Tellison, covered by Alan Jackson. And that'll bring up 4th down and 4. Now let's see what Dennis Erickson does here. I don't think he's going to bring his punting team out.
Well, Temple on the last 2 plays have basically, last 2 passing plays, Eric, have played Miami's tendencies. Both corners have settled. They've set on the out routes or and have not given Costa anywhere to throw the football. I expect to see Miami pump and go over the top here pretty soon.
4th down, 4 for the Hurricanes. At the Owl 36. Al Shipman, the lone setback down. Jonathan Harris has the catch, has the first down at the Temple 30-yard line. Needed 4, and Costa dialed Harris up for 6.
Good solid play. You get Jonathan Harris isolated one-on-one on the defender and just break him out to the sideline, and he's going to win that battle.
Jonathan Harris has had a nice day today. 2 gorgeous catches down the middle in the first half. The Owl 30-yard line. Al Shipman on the delay. A lot of green in front of him. Shipman. Touchdown. 30 yards. Al Shipman strikes again.
We can see why he averages 10.3 yards per carry. The acceleration once he sees a hole is phenomenal.
3 carries, 57 yards today for sophomore Al Shipman. His teammates call him the Frog. That time he leaped into the end zone. Great blocking up front for Miami, and an easy cruise for Shipman.
Good blocking up front, but the ability to read the blocking and find the gap and then accelerate through the hole is what Al Shipman does a fantastic job of.
Dane Pruitt gets the point after. Al Shipman gets his second touchdown of his sophomore season, and it's now the Hurricanes 31 and the Owls 7. To go in the third quarter, an impressive 9-play, 78-yard drive for Miami. And how about the touchdown scoot, 30 yards worth for Al Shipman.
Here you see, he's the best back they've got. Look at him reading the block of K.C. Jones and Terrell Green and just getting into the end zone. That's what you need with a good back. He'll set up blocks, and he does a good job of reading the offensive lineman's head. And here, as we take another look, watch him read the head of the blockers. Good job. Little move there, showing a little quickness and speed, and just outruns the defense.
Ted McDuffie, a sophomore out of Buffalo, had the best shot at Shipman, and he grabbed and got nothing but air.
The best shot was no shot. Once Shipman is in the secondary and he gets a glimpse of light, he's gone.
Well, the Costa Hurricane fan club have had much to cheer about. You threw the numbers question out at me about Miami's first down yardage. How about the math on Shipman? He came in with a 10-yard per carry average. He's got 3 rushes today for 57 yards, a 30-yard carry, a 20-yard carry. Al Shipman's numbers heading north. And Jeff Frederick not heading very far at all. He doesn't even get back to the 20-yard line. Special teams star Eugene Ridgely on the stop. There are the numbers of Miami's opening score in the third quarter. And this is the type of score most Hurricane fans anticipated. 31-7 with most of the third quarter still ahead.
What's up? All the boys down on 8. What's up? All the boys on 8-7. What's up, man? It's South Miami. Overtime. It's all good. It's all good, baby. What's up, baby?
Very happy young man, as we can see. He's saying hello to all the people back in Miami, and especially his friends back in West Palm Beach.
Sidney Morse up to the 35-yard line. That's the best bit of daylight we've seen for the senior fullback, a 2-year starter and a big pass catcher who's been quiet today, but he rumbles for just about 16 yards on first down.
Good blocking right up front as you see him running through the hole and doing a good job of reading his blocks.
Hurricane starting group
C.J. Richardson coming in for the final tackle there.
Starting defensive line group is in. The only changes I see are at the linebackers. Twan Russell and Marlon Barnes are the outside linebackers. Eugene Colbreth, no gain, back to the 35-yard line. Middle linebacker Ray Lewis and the All-American candidate Warren Sapp, who Greg McMackin refers to as the starting point for Miami's defense. He's a candidate for just about every award there is, including the Heisman Trophy.
Deservingly so. For my money, the best defensive lineman in college football and might be the best player in the country.
Up for the Walter Camp Award, the Lombardi, and the Outland. Penalty markers everywhere. And P.J. Cook, the tight end, on the receiving end. A 6-yard gain if it stands. Twan Russell brought down the tight end immediately.
Well, we've got a penalty. Number 68, Drew Peterson, just hog-tied and wrestled down Warren Sapp to keep him from getting to the quarterback. So they're going to pull this. They're going to bring this one back. Let's take another look at it. As you see, Warren Sapp just does such a good job of getting off the ball.
Holding.
Look at the
on the offense.
I mean, he body slams him.
Spot of the foul. Replay second
If it was
down.
wrestling, he'd get 2 points for the takedown.
That's right. But this is not wrestling, so you get 15 yards for holding.
Warren Sapp this week named to the American Football Coaches Association All-American team. They used to call that the Kodak All-American squad. He's in the running for that Walter Camp Award for the College Football Player of the Year, and the other 4 finalists going against Sapp, Kajana Carter and Kerry Collins of Penn State, Eric Zier, the quarterback from Georgia, and Colorado running back Rashaan Salam. 2nd and 27 for Temple back at their 18-yard line. And there comes Sapp, but Burris steps up and has Mark Baxter. Incomplete, they rule it now. Chad Wilson hung with that play and finally stripped Baxter of the football.
That was just a great play by Chad Wilson. He was beat. Mark Baxter had position on him for the catch, and he would just not be denied. He's hung in there, and he just kept working to strip him of the football. As you can see, Baxter actually has the catch, but watch, Chad Wilson will not be denied. He's pulling it out. He's pulling it out, and here comes the ball out. Good play by Chad Wilson to deny the reception.
Mentioned that ESPN2 was in Miami to do a feature on Chad Wilson. He's a talented young football player and writer. He writes for the Miami University student newspaper. Eugene Culbreth straight ahead on 3rd and 27. He gets only 3 yards back. So with under 9.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, Miami will get it back, leading 31-7. There's Marvin Davis. Our get well wishes to senior defensive lineman Pat Riley. His career ends with a knee injury last week. They tell us Riley should be ready for the pros when his name gets called on draft day, but he's got some rehab work to do.
He's got a lot of rehab work, but he is a young man that's used to working hard. That's part of being in this program, and you look to see him in the NFL real soon.
Tony Gator on the punt return, picked up 3 on the return. Now penalty markers down. Jeff Frederick, he's been an active special team player for Temple today. You know, now all the talk about the postseason accolades for Warren Sapp, some say he could go as high as the first pick in this year's NFL draft. The point I think most folks forget, Warren Sapp is only a junior. If he elected, he could return to Miami next year.
Well, Warren Sapp is keeping those doors open. He has not said which way he's leaning. I think if Dennis Erickson is back, you can almost expect him back. But he's at a point where he's got to eventually consider what's best for Warren Sapp and his family. And you know, when you look at the NFL, most teams are looking for great defensive linemen and quarterbacks. And I don't know if there's a great quarterback coming out this year that would keep him from being the #1 pick.
Now Warren Sapp, he's Miami's favorite choice. We'll be right back to Philadelphia after this.
For commentary on the latest happenings in the sports world, it's Sports Talk Live, Florida's only live televised call-in sports talk show. Wrap with the beat writers who cover the breaking stories on Sports Talk Live, Monday nights on Sunshine.
Long grass. Snapper bagging mowers have always made short work of long grass. But now Snapper's going blade to blade with the meanest, nastiest grass of all, the long, wet grass. Snapper introduces a mower specially designed to make a clean sweep of soggy, soppy grass, even dewy morning grass. A new Snapper Jetvac. Snap yours up now and choose from great accessories, too.
Mow in 94, pay in 95. No payments till April. See your Snapper dealer for details.
Announces 25% off some of our most popular passenger, performance, and light truck radials. 25% off. But you gotta hurry. The sale ends December 3rd at participating Goodyear retailers.
Come into your Goodyear retailer for 4 for $3 Goodyear tire savings, plus professional tire mounting by Goodyear-trained tire specialists in 59 minutes or less. For savings and satisfaction, visit your nearby Orlando Goodyear retailer.
College basketball is back. The preseason Women's NIT hoops it up as some of the nation's top teams battle in a preseason tilt. Winning here may be an omen of things to come. The semifinal, Sunday at 7 on Sunshine.
Ibis and the rest of the Hurricanes enjoying our weekend in Philadelphia. And the Hurricane running game also enjoying the visit here to Veterans Stadium. Remember the days of Air Erickson? Well, today it's running to daylight for Miami en route to the 31-7 lead. Ford carrying the football well for Miami. Eric Reed with Nat Moore, Joe Rose, and our Sunshine Network crew. Welcome back with just under 9 minutes left. Third period. Costa going deep. Has Trent Jones. Jones to the 20-yard line in Temple territory. Alan Jackson brings him down. Big hookup. Costa to the sophomore, Trent Jones.
Well, Frank Costa is the reason this play is successful. Not the throw, but the fact that he looked the free safety off when he looked at the tight end, Saeed Tucker, and then came back to Trent Jones going down the other hash mark.
So the sophomore strikes big again. Number 6, a 41-yard catch. And a 1st and 10 for Miami at the Temple 22. The pitch to Stewart. And Stewart run out of bounds by Corey Green at the 20-yard line, a 2-yard gain. And how about this final score from Morgantown, West Virginia? The Mountaineers knock off Boston College 21-20.
Well, that's a big one. You expected to see Boston College come into Miami next week with another victory under their belt, getting ready to play the Hurricanes. So you wonder how this will affect Boston College's preparation to play the Hurricanes.
Syracuse won at the Carrier Dome today, defeated Maryland 21-16. 2nd down, 8 to go. Safety blitz. Trent Jones nearly a juggling catch. Incomplete at the 2-yard line. Coverage from Ted McDuffie.
Good job. Eric, that was a good job by the Miami offensive line. Temple came with the blitz. They did a good job of picking it up, giving Frank Costa time to throw the football. They just weren't successful in the execution of the pass. But here's a good job. Corey Green comes free, but he's not able to get there. Costa did a good job of sidestepping him and getting the ball off.
A little bit of contact there by McDuffie before the ball got to Jones. 3rd down, 8 to go. Costa looking, finding Marcus Wimberly, and he is short of the 1st down. A head-hunting hit by Lamar Watts. Costa was nailed, and so is the receiver Marcus Wimberly. His 1st catch today, 4th of the year, and 8th of his career. Wimberly, a sophomore out of Memphis.
Lamar Watts did a good job of coming up and putting a hit on Wimberly, but Wimberly did a good job of holding on to the football. You know, usually as a receiver, when you catch the football and you start to turn upfield, and all of a sudden you get a big hit like this. Oh, good job by Frank Costa. He gets rid of the football, and he's drilled by Adrian Drones.
Miami going to go for it on 4th down and 2 from the Temple 14-yard line, and now Miami takes timeout.
Good decision by Frank Costa. He's looking at 2 seconds. They were showing blitz. He needed to change the play, and rather than have a bad play, calls timeout because they're in that green zone, and that's when you want to try and get the ball in the end zone. You don't want to have a mistake down there.
7 minutes, 22 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Don't forget, next Saturday night, 7:30 at the Orange Bowl, top 20 Boston College in Miami against the Hurricanes. Of course, BC has some huge wins this year, including the Notre Dame game. And even though they lost this week to West Virginia, count on the Eagles to be ready. Primetime, ESPN, and the lights will be on at the Orange Bowl next Saturday night.
Well, Dan Henning will have him fired up coming in there. Dan's coming back to Miami. He was a receiver coach and offensive coordinator down there with the Dolphins for many years. So I know he's looking forward to coming into Miami and putting on a good showing and really continuing the progress of his Boston College team of becoming one of the top teams in the Big East.
How about your old team, the Miami Dolphins? Big game this week against the Steelers on the road.
Yeah, they're right down the highway there a bit, but it's a game that they've got to have. Last week they really didn't get it done themselves. They didn't play well, and Chicago came in and sneaked out with a victory. But they've got to go up to Pittsburgh with their backs against the wall and get that offense turned around.
4th down and 2 for Miami. The end around to Trent Jones. 1st down. Touchdown! Trent Jones on 4th and 2 goes around right end for a 14-yard score.
Miami comes back with a reverse of their own. And the funny part was watching Trent Jones trying to read the block of his big offensive lineman. You've got Terrell Green. We were just talking about Pittsburgh. He's from up the road there in Pittsburgh. And look at these big guys out front. Terrell Green and Gerard Daphnis trying to escort him into the end zone.
The 4th rushing touchdown for Miami this afternoon. Dane Pruitt slices it through. And it's now Miami 38 and Temple 7.
You know, Eric, when you think about that play, and I'm laughing a little bit, but for Terrell Green getting that 302-pound body out in front of Trent Jones, that's a long way for him to run.
31 unanswered points for Miami after Temple tied the game at 7 apiece early in the second quarter.
Let's look at this play again as you see Trent Jones coming around. And all of a sudden, in your screen, you should see big number 51 out pulling and leading Terrell Green. I can tell you, he's over at the Gatorade cooler now.
Why not? There's Trent Jones. We talked about him right at the top of our show today. The redshirt freshman from Miami's Palmetto High School.
What's up, Robin?
Trent Jones sending out his personal postcard from Philadelphia, his 3rd touchdown of his freshman year. 5-play, 56-yard drive for the Canes. So 2 scores and 2 tries here in the 3rd quarter for Miami. It has been an explosive day for the Hurricane rushing attack.
But not only the rushing attack, the ability for Frank Costa to find his open receivers and get the ball to him, the ability to balance the attack that the defense cannot key on one or the other.
Look out, Jeff Frederick from the 8 on his way. Finally run out by Al Shipman at the Miami 30-yard line.
Just a good job of Temple not giving up. As you see, Frederick splits the seam, and then he's off to the races. But Al Shipman does a good job of boxing him in on the sideline, not allowing him to go the distance for the touchdown.
A 62-yard return for Jeff Frederick, who is one of Temple's 11 seniors playing his final game. That was the best kickoff return of his career. Kennard Lang all over Henry Burris. And cheated out of what would have been his 9th sack today. Burris got it away in the area code of his tight end, P.J. Cook.
Good job by Kennard Lang, but a better job by Henry Burris of avoiding the sack and having the ability to get the ball off.
Checking the Hurricane defensive group, they still go with Marlon Barnes and Twan Russell as the outside linebackers. Dwayne Johnson and Warren Sapp are the tackles. Kennard Lang and Kenny Holmes the ends. This is Eugene Colbreth, and Ray Lewis ropes him down at the 25-yard line with an assist from Kennard Lang. That's pickup of 5. Call it 3rd down and 5 for Temple. At the Miami 35-yard line with 6:35 left in the 3rd quarter. Henry Burris threw a touchdown of 20 yards in the second period to Van Johnson, his 20th scoring strike of his sophomore year. Holmes jumped offside. Colbreth turns the corner. Colbreth upended inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. And they told us they wanted to get this sophomore, Eugene Colbreth, some action today. He looks like a good one. And Juan Gaddy, who started the game, is out with a bruised knee. So we'll see Colbreth the rest of the way.
Offside on the defense. Decline. First down.
It was a pickup of 6 for Colbreth.
First down.
Here you see Kenny Holmes jumps offside. And then it's almost like the Miami defense relaxes, and then Eugene Colbreth just makes the most out of this play, and he's off to the races until Twan Russell comes up and puts the hit.
First down and 10 for Temple at the Miami 19. Sidney Morse, the fullback. No, that's not sophomore from Deptford, New Jersey, got some daylight and gets inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. That's an 11-yard pickup and a Temple first down. So first and goal for the Owls. Their first serious threat since their second quarter score, which came on a Miami mistake. The punt team gave it up, and on Temple's first play from the 20, they scored. And here they are inside the Miami 10-yard line. And Temple asks for and receives a timeout. 5 minutes and 27 seconds left here in the third period. As you look at Ron Dickerson talking with his quarterback Henry Burris, Dickerson is a big fan of his sophomore quarterback. Loves him as a person. He says he's just a great kid. He's in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He's an excellent student, studies film. Matter of fact, Ron Dickerson said he's the type of guy you'd like to see your daughter come home with.
Well, I don't know whether I really want to see him come home with my daughter, but he's a class kid, and I think that's what Ron is trying to say, that when you've got a guy like that as a leader, it only can help you grow.
We'll come right back to Philadelphia, where the Hurricanes are leading comfortably, but Temple is threatening.
It's been said Jeep Cherokee Sport owners have a unique way of looking at things. Well, maybe if you enjoyed 190 horses, available four-wheel anti-lock brakes, and a driver's airbag, you'd have a different outlook too. Or perhaps it's just the values they got on the classic Jeep Cherokee Sport. Get into one today and change your whole perspective.
See your Florida Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Excuse me, Shutty! Ow!
In the NFL, there's only one sports drink, and it's gotta be Gatorade.
Hi, I'm Dennis Erickson of the University of Miami.
I'm Norm Tripp from Alamo Rent-A-Car.
Join us for a day of golf at Arvidas Weston Hills Golf and Country Club in the second annual Alamo Golf Classic.
Alamo Rent-A-Car is committed to educational endeavors in South Florida and is proud to sponsor this event.
And all benefits go to the University of Miami Athletic Scholarship Fund.
We'll tee off at 12:30 on Monday, January 23rd. Hope to see you there.
31 unanswered points for Dennis Erickson's Hurricanes, but the Temple Owls have it first down, goal to go at the 9-yard line. A moment ago, we were talking about the potential of Henry Burris as a son-in-law, not a quarterback. And I knew you would react to that comment, Nat, because you have a daughter, a very beautiful young lady, as a matter of fact, who is of dating age, so maybe a little sensitivity.
Well, not a little sensitivity, but my wife makes all those decisions.
Perhaps if Burris was to engineer another Temple score, he might endear himself to you a bit more as a potential suitor.
As far as I'm concerned, he's a heck of a quarterback, but I don't know him personally enough to say that he's right for my daughter.
I think we've taken this about as far as we can. Thanks, Nat. 5:27 left in the third quarter. One thing you got to give Temple credit for, they've been beat up mentally and physically all year long. They're 2-8 on the season, 0-6 in the Big East. But they haven't thrown in the towel. They just keep playing as hard as they can possibly go.
And that's what Dennis strives for. Ron Dickerson strives for is to get his team in a position where they learn not to give up, that they continue the work, because it's only going to help them in the long run.
Great numbers for Frank Costa's 6th 200-yard game of the season. Looks like he might be through for the day. The shoulder pads are off. We'll enjoy watching Ryan Collins work. Marlon Barnes wrapping up Eugene Colbreth. That'll be a loss of 3 yards. Back to the 12. Let's go down to field level and Joe Rose.
Thank you, Eric. You're going to see a lot of changes coming here in the fourth quarter. A lot of starters will be out. Frank Costa absolutely enjoying himself in front of a couple hundred big-time Philly fans for him. He's got his pads off and just having a lot of fun playing back home once again. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Joe. Joe, of course, knows the feeling of a huge fan club surrounding him.
But he can very much relate to what Frank Costa's going through today. Second and goal from the 12, and Burris fumbled the snap from center. Picked it up at the 15-yard line. So Temple going in the wrong direction. Make it third down and goal at the 14 with 5:05 left in the third quarter.
Here you see quarterback center exchanges. Burris starts to pull out a little bit early, and the center doesn't get the ball up, but you know, Henry has the wherewithal to get back down and get on top of the football rather than give away the turnover.
Let's see what Temple comes up with here on third and goal at the 14. Lobbing it for Van Johnson. Touchdown, Temple. No, the other official comes over and says incomplete. How about that? The back judge overrules the side judge. He evidently had a better look at it. The side judge signaled touchdown Van Johnson, and it was waved off.
Side judge was blocked out on that play, and the back judge had a better angle to see whether the ball hit the ground. And as you can see, Ron Dickerson there said, did he drop it?
On the play, fourth down.
Carlos Jones and Van Johnson right there, and yes, it did look like Johnson dropped it.
It came out there, and there was an opportunity. As you see it there from that camera angle, it did come out. Good call by the back judge.
Well, the officiating crew working well together.
Carlos Jones has played a great ball game up to this point, but on that last play, he just did not do a good job of locating the football. The ball's in there a long time, and he never located the football.
4th and 14, the Hurricanes jump. And Burris is sacked, coughed up the football. Kenny Holmes on the back of Henry Burris. Marlon Barnes on the pickup, but this is likely to be offsides against Miami. 4:20 left third quarter, 38-7, Hurricanes in front.
Offside on the defense, 5 yards, replay, fourth down.
So Henry Burris showing his maturity, using the snap count to get a cheap 5 yards there as he pulled the Hurricanes offside and had a free play as he jumped Warren Sapp offside there. But Kenny Holmes just did a good job of beating his blocker and staying after him, not giving him a chance to get the play off.
Kenny Holmes just racing past the offensive tackle, number 78, Eric Johnson. On 4th and goal from the 10, knocked away. Carlos Jones leaning over the back and slapping that ball away from the intended receiver, Van Johnson. There is a penalty marker down, though, in the Temple backfield, right around the 14-yard line. It's holding.
Well, Van Johnson ran a good route and had a step on him, but Carlos Jones showed that great speed as he came back and made the play.
On the offense, decline, first down.
We got the left guard once again for holding Warren Sapp, but they still were not able to execute the play.
The best defense in America. And the home address reads Coral Gables.
Coral Gables. That's that little place down there in Miami, the suburbs somewhere.
Kind of nice.
Kind of nice.
Timeout to the Temple Owls. I don't believe they had enough men on the field. Mario Ayala just now racing onto the field. That has got to be a little bit upsetting to Ron Dickerson. Not enough men on the field. Temple burns a timeout with 4 minutes and 2 seconds left, third period. The season finale for Temple. You know, the basketball program at Temple is so successful under Don Chaney. Ron Dickerson a few weeks ago asked the Temple basketball coach to speak to his football team, and the message that Chaney gave the Temple Owl football squad was simple. Don't get down, play hard, improve.
Well, that's what any program that's trying to rebuild, that's on their way up, will have to preach. The idea that you don't give up because things look so dark. Continue to believe in yourself and continue to work.
Ryan Collins, the junior from Pembroke Pines, Florida, in at quarterback now for Miami. And on first down, Nice run for Larry Jones. He picks up 10 yards to the 20-yard line. So Frank Costa's day is done, and I'm sure Ryan Collins will enjoy the work. He's a talented backup, a guy that started 7 games a year ago and threw for well over 1,500 yards, rushed for 5 more touchdowns, and threw for 14 scores last year.
Young man with a lot of talent that, as you said, last year won the starting job midway during the season and lost it in the spring. That he's just waiting his time. He's a junior, but looks forward to next year as to being the starting QB.
Collins on first down, dancing in the pocket, and this is what Ryan Collins can do so well. Improvise and make it happen. Collins to the 31-yard line, an 11-yard gain, and finally stopped by the inside linebacker, Andrew Brown.
Well, that's what Ryan Collins gave you, the ability to take a busted play or a bad play and make defenders look bad as he scampers out of the backfield and comes up with a first down. Let's take another look at it. As you see Ryan Collins taking the snap, going back on a play action pass, comes out on a bootleg, and there's nothing there, and there's pressure all the way around him. Now look at his ability to shoot that gap and pick up the first down.
Ryan Collins lobbing it for Lamont Cain, who runs under it and is finally run out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Well, Ryan Collins has the fireworks show going on. Ted McDuffie running out the sophomore Lamont Cain. Big gainer for Miami.
Ryan Collins just showed his versatility there as he goes play action again to Larry Jones. Looks downfield, picks up Lamont Cain, and hangs it. Just a perfect pass, allowing the receiver to run under it as McDuffie pushes Cain out of bounds.
39-yard pass and catch. Well, that's an easy catch for Cain. A soft rainbow throw by Ryan Collins, who has the Canes moving. 1st and 10 at the Temple 24-yard line. This is Larry Jones, straight ahead running to the 18-yard line, a gain of 6. Alan Jackson, the corner, up in run support, making the stop. And the Canes have substituted liberally. Marcus Wimberly and Lamont Cain exchanging positions now. Taj Johnson, a sophomore from Oklahoma City, is in. And Jermaine Chambers also in. Tight end is now Derek Harris. Clock running, 2:10 to play in the 3rd. Ball is actually spotted at the 19-yard line now. Larry Jones leaning forward to the 14-yard line. Number 94, Alshermond Singleton, the first man to get there. Pickup of about 5 yards and a first down gain for Miami.
Miami's running off that right side, doing a good job running behind Terrell Green and Robert Woodruff, who's in replacing Ricky Perry, giving him a breather.
So 1st and 10 at the Temple 14-yard line. Hurricanes leading by 31 points. Ryan Collins' first series. This is Larry Jones, and a block from Marcus Wimberly, and is finally dragged down by Corey Green at the 11-yard line. 3-yard gain for Jones. And the threads coming out. And Larry Jones won't have much of a shirt left.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to go out now. He smells the goal line, and he knows that if he goes out, one of the other guys coming in, he's not going to get back in until the next series.
6 carries, 41 yards for Jones.
Another little draw, a little misdirection where you got Robert Woodruff out leading and Corey Green coming up making the tackle.
2nd down and 7 from the Temple 11. Collins, the end zone to Lamont Cain. Bit too far.
He had him open and just led him a little too far. Came back with the same play that they hit earlier for the 41-yard gain, trying to hit Lamont Cain coming open on a crossing route.
Larry Jones balling up the thread and saving it.
Lucky thread.
3rd down, 7 for the Canes. at the Temple 11. 36 seconds left, third quarter.
Showing blitz.
Wimberly, the man in motion. Collins on the roll. Collins across the field. And it's intercepted. This is Phil Cox's second interception of the game. Cox, one man to beat. And Ryan Collins brings him down at the 10-yard line. An interception at the goal line. A 90-yard run back for Phil Cox before he flat ran out of gas.
Phil Cox ran out of gas, but Ryan Collins tried to cut the field down. Phil Cox came back to him to keep him from using the sideline. But that was just an ill-advised pass by Ryan Collins because there was no way to stop and throw the ball all the way back across the brain, across the body, without being able to step up and throw. And watch Cox go up and play the ball as he takes it away from Chambers here, or from Wimberly, I'm sorry, and then he's off to the races. But watch what he does here. He sees Ryan Collins, and he comes back to meet him so that he's not able to use the sideline. But Ryan Collins does a good job of playing defense there. For young quarterbacks, that's what you want to do. Once you've thrown that interception, you got to go on defense.
Sidney Morse, the fullback, with a carry. Well, it is officially recorded as an 80-yard interception return, which is the second longest in Temple history. An 89-yard return for Phil Cox, and I guess Ryan Collins guilty of one thing. They're trying to make too much happen, and it blew up on him. We'll come back. Temple 2nd and 9. We'll start the fourth quarter from Philadelphia right after this on Sunshine Network.
This could be your arm. This could be your back. This could be your stomach. This could be your thigh. These could be your shoulders. This could be your body. This could be the way. The Soloplex Muscle Machine, just $39 a month. Call now for a free brochure. This could be your arm. This could be your chest. These could be your shoulders. This could be your thigh. This could be your stomach. This could be your back. This could be your body. This could be the way. The Soloplex Muscle Machine, just $39 a month. Call now for a free brochure.
The Miami Hurricanes. Nobody plays better than they do. And nobody covers the Canes better than CaneSport. 21 times a year, CaneSport takes you inside the locker room and inside the coaches' minds for the most comprehensive coverage anywhere. Each issue brings you complete game analysis, exciting action photos, and more. To order CaneSport, call 1-800-635-CANE. Or by mail, send $31.95 to CaneSport, Miami, Florida. CaneSport. Don't miss an issue. Order now.
Exciting play to close the third quarter. Phil Cox, his second interception today. He takes it back 89 yards. He will long remember this, the sophomore's fourth interception of his career.
See, right here, Ryan Collins has got to go ahead, take the sack, or throw the ball away. Here he tries to make too much happen, and he just throws it up for grabs. And Phil Cox does what every defensive back is taught, going up, getting the ball at his highest point, and then he's off to the races. And he's going to win that race all day running against offensive and defensive linemen, or offensive linemen, shall I say. But here's where he tries to take advantage of the field and use his blocker, but Ryan Collins just does a good job of playing defense after the interception.
DeAndre McClurkin, number 89, was the lead blocker for Phil Cox, and he looked like he was staggering. That was far too long a run for him. For Cox, a former walk-on, he almost ran off with a whole bundle, going 89 yards.
Well, Cox has had a good football game today. He's come up with a couple picks, almost had one other, and he's playing good, solid defense. And the thing that he does, and that's what you want to see with a free safety, he sits back in the middle, reads the quarterback eyes, and plays the football.
You know what? I thought Joe Rose was going to run off the sideline and make that play for Miami.
That was an exciting play.
Right now, we have an ugly sight in the stands here at Veterans Stadium. Off to the far left, behind the 10-yard line. Looks like a massive brawl in the stands. 2nd down, 9 to go, and Henry Burris wants the end zone. He's going to run for it and get to the 7-yard line. A 3-yard pickup. That'll bring up a 3rd and 6, and there are penalty markers down.
Down. It's half the distance. 4 down. Late hit.
Well, they've got to sort it out on the field and in the stands.
Personal foul, late hit on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
I have the report that things have calmed down in the stands at Veterans Stadium. We are just underway here in the final quarter in Philadelphia. Miami leading it comfortably, 38-7. The day done for Frank Costa, over 250 yards in the air. The day apparently also done for James Stewart, who rushed for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns. 1st and goal for Temple at the 3. Burris still has it. Touchdown! P.J. Cook, the tight end. And he continues his streak. The 6th game in a row, he's caught a touchdown.
That's just good play action down in the tough yardage situation. Short and goal, 1st and goal, and good play action by Henry Burris, hitting P.J. Cook coming out of the back after the play action.
2nd touchdown pass today for Henry Burris. The sophomore has thrown for 21 touchdowns, 1 shy of tying Temple's single-season record. Matson's point after is good. By the way, Burris has already established 8 Temple records this year. He's 2 touchdown passes away from establishing a 9th. 38-14, Miami leads Temple, 14:23 to go.
As much as Henry Burris throws the football and the success he's had, what's really great is the fact that he's been able to throw for 21 touchdowns, but he's only thrown 12 INTs up to this point, and that's saying a lot. Here's just a good play action fake by Frank Carter that just fooled the entire Hurricane defense.
P.J. Cook with 9 touchdowns on the year, and that is a 10-year Temple best for a pass catcher. That's some good running backs here at Temple.
Watch this play and watch Carter leave his feet. Does a good job of fooling the Miami linebackers, and then P.J. Cook just sneaks out into the flat for the touchdown.
Last week, Cook against West Virginia had 6 catches for 57 yards. He's a senior out of Conyers, New York, and that touchdown, remember, set up by the 89-yard interception return of Phil Cox. Picked it at the end zone and took it all the way back to the Miami 11. This is Richard Matson, a former walk-on. He's a junior from Atco, New Jersey, and a strong-legged young man. He hit a 51-yard field goal against West Virginia last week. Booker Pickett picks it right out of the air. It's a couple nice moves. Booker Pickett, a reserve defensive lineman, advances to the 37-yard line. And your third quarter stats are brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. When you're thirsty, it's gotta be Gatorade. Look at that, 522 yards of well-balanced Miami offense.
That's what you strive for, the ability to run the football, to get 234 yards running the football, as well as the 288 yards passing, but they also are controlling the clock, and that's what they would like to do.
Alan Simonette now the center. Freeman Brown, Robert Woodis are the tackles. Jay Ina and Curlin Blaze are the guards. Ryan Collins like a statue in the pocket, lets it go. And it's nearly intercepted again. That one was almost picked off by Orrin Marshman.
Ryan Collins had no one open once again, and he stood back there, and he had plenty of time. And that was one of those opportunities where he could have come out of the pocket, and he should have, because no one was open. There was nowhere to throw the football. He threw it up for grabs, and Orrin Marshman almost comes up with an interception.
Orrin Marshman making his first start of his freshman year today. That pass intended for Marcus Wimberly. 2nd and 10. The draw to Shipman. And the 10-yard per carry average will not suffer. He gets 13 up to midfield. What an amazing little spark plug. He is. Marshman again on the stop. Al Shipman, he's lightning in a bottle for Miami.
Yeah, they might bring this one back. We've got a flag down. They could call holding, but the one thing about it, when Al Shipman has the ball in his hands, he's Mr. Excitement.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, 2nd down.
And you expect to see something happen at that point. He's just a great runner with the ability to get outside or find a hole and then accelerate. What does that say? Is that?
That says freak show.
Freak show.
Oh, well.
Well, I think that will impress all the boys back at home in West Palm Beach.
A 19-yard per carry average today. More like a highlight show than a freak show. Shipman gets the call again from the 29. He advances it up near the 37-yard line. Corey Green in on the stop.
What's up, baby? I love y'all. What's up, baby? I love y'all, baby.
Guys saving their quarters from the payphones. Well, who needs it?
Well, look like they're having fun, and you know, this is their opportunity to get on paid per view and say hello to all the friends and family back home. Can't blame them.
Nothing beats winning. 3rd down and 10 for Miami. Their own 37-yard line. 12:48 left in the football game today. Hope you've enjoyed the action with us. And Collins steps up. Has Taj Johnson, 1st down. And Johnson is brought down at the Temple 43-yard line by Lamart Watts.
190-pound second-year freshman that's now getting a chance to play. Early in the year had a big ball game and then was injured and just coming back off injury. Taj Johnson getting his shot today.
Illegal participation on the defense. Decline. 1st down.
Taj Johnson. Gotta like the name. T-A-J. Taj. He's from Ardmore, Oklahoma. Another of the young and swift pass catchers for Miami. They can go with Taj Johnson, Yatil Green, and Jamie German next year and just let them fly. 1st and 10, Miami. The Temple 44. Al Shipman gets out of bounds at the 41-yard line, a 3-yard gain. Singleton, the linebacker, ran Shipman out of bounds. Now the Hurricanes led 7-0 after 1. 24-7 at halftime. 38-7 through 3. But it's 38-14 now after the 3-yard touchdown pass from Henry Burris to his tight end P.J. Cook. You can see the number of empty seats at massive Veteran Stadium today. Place sits 66,000. Temple gains about 6,000 to 8,000 fans for every home game. Shipman broke a tackle line of scrimmage, ran right away from Adrian Drones, gets to the 35-yard line, a 5-yard gain, should come up a yard shy of the 1st down, and again it was Alshermond Singleton on the stop. Alshermond Singleton, number 2 on the Temple Owls in tackling. The team's leading tackler, Lance Johnstone, a junior outside linebacker. Their best player dislocated his right wrist in practice on Tuesday.
That really hurts your preparation coming into a ball game of this nature, to have your best defensive player out because of injury in practice.
Andrew Brown, number 55, there to throw a roadblock in Al Shipman's direction on 3rd and 1. The Canes lose a yard.
Hialeah Miami Lakes kid really showing big here today, coming up on 3rd and short and making a big play to force Miami to go for it on 4th down.
You mentioned Ron Dickerson going into South Florida. Andrew Brown, a South Floridian that took the trip to Temple, and he's done well. 4 starts last year, and he's closing out his senior year playing good football. 4th down and 2. It's Shipman's load to carry. And he has the first down, but he dropped the football. And I believe Temple's recovered it. Looks like Adrian Drones jumped on the free ball at the 27-yard line. Adrian Drones, the senior from Houston, Texas, picks up the fumble recovery. 3rd turnover against the Canes today. And that is one thing that this Temple defense has been able to do. They've forced 27 turnovers on the year and are +7 in that column.
They've forced quite a few turnovers, but once again, this is what concerns Coach Dennis Erickson. The second team is in a position to make some things happen, and they keep stopping themselves, putting the ball on the ground, throwing it up for interceptions. And as a team that's challenging for a national championship, you can't afford for your second team not to step up to the table when counted on.
11:06 left in the game here in Philadelphia. The Canes lead it 38-14.
O'Neal spins the ball. Shaquille's all by himself. O'Neal diving. Dennis Scott Anderson.
Play it.
Brings it up. Half court on deep. That's it. Goes. It's good. Behind the
The Magic, performing all season on Sunshine.
If your teeth are yellow or stained, it's nothing to smile about.
But this is Dental White, the professional non-abrasive tooth whitening process used by dentists across the country to whiten their patients' teeth. Jeanette used Dental White on her upper teeth only. Now just look at these dramatic results.
My boyfriend, he loves my new smile.
I was amazed at how simple and easy it was to use.
My teeth were whiter after the first time I used it.
Dental White penetrates into the pores of your teeth to lift out grime. Simply apply the Dental White formula to the custom tray and fit it to your teeth. And then wear the tray for 30 minutes. Dental White will whiten your teeth and make them more brilliant than ever. Call now and you'll get a double-sized bottle of Dental White, 2 sets of custom trays, and easy-to-follow instructions, all for just $19.95.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-652-2112 or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4.50 shipping and handling to Dental White, Department S, P.O. Box 4943, Omaha, Nebraska 68104.
Al Shipman, who just fumbled that football, otherwise having a beautiful day. 9 carries, 85 yards. But let's give the ball to the 3rd man on our crew, Joe Rose.
Thanks, Eric. It's been a wild one down here, as you were talking about earlier, up in the stands. Some pretty good fights, but forget about that for a minute. How about this? University of Miami in a very tough situation. They still want to be able to score lots of points for the Coalition, but at the same time, they want to play those backups as much as possible. Those guys have worked hard. It's getting towards the end of the season, getting closer to bowl time. Dennis Erickson still wants to get in the 50s if he can today. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Joe. Frank Costa's day done. He came out after throwing for 250 yards today, 19 for 36. Not a bad afternoon. Who says you can't go home again? Henry Burris going the distance for Temple at quarterback. Downfield for the tight end and broken up nicely by the free safety, C.J. Richardson.
That was an excellent play by C.J. Richardson, avoiding the interference and coming around Cook and swatting the ball away with his right hand. Here you see an instant replay or a replay there, and watch C.J. Richardson does a good job of avoiding contact and coming around with the right hand and batting the ball away.
2nd and 10. Burris, boy, he had Booker Pickett right in his face mask. Booker Pickett, the sophomore from Zephyr Hills, Florida, took away the passing vision of Henry Burris, and that ball not even close to being completed. 3rd down and 10.
Booker Pickett showed you there. He's coming on the blitz. He realized he can't get there, so he does the next best thing. He jumps up and just swats the ball down. not giving Burris a chance to get it out to his receiver.
In the second half, Henry Burris has completed just 1 out of 6 for 3 yards. That was the touchdown pass. On third down, Burris under a rush. Trying to buy time, cannot. Henry Burris buried back at the 20-yard line. Booker Pickett, Baraka short. And Marvin Davis collapsed the pocket on Burris. And you can see the kind of defensive job that Miami has turned in against the total offense leader in the Big East Conference.
Well, that's what happens when you can get pressured by your front four. You can drop a lot of people back in the lanes in the zone that doesn't give him a lot of holes to throw the ball into.
Tony Gator watches the bouncing ball. John Shea gets the good roll. It'll be down at the Miami 34-yard line with 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Hurricanes in front, 38-14.
College hoops are back. Get the jump on Miami's favorite team with the insights to the '94 season. The Canes aim to be the beast of the East. The Miami Hurricanes preseason special. Thursday night at 8 on Sunshine.
Employees of Time Warner Cable know that not all jobs are created equal. Theirs are better. It's not just the fantastic benefits, the latest technology, or newest equipment that make their work lives more satisfying. It's very simply put, the people. Employees of TWC are a team, and you may be able to join that winning group. Just stop by our offices at 3767 All-American Boulevard in Orlando and fill out an application for employment. Come and join the winning team at Time Warner Cable.
I get the feeling that car dealers who give me something for coming in to see them are trying to make up for the bad deal they're also going to give me. Roll the tape, fellas.
Come in this week and let's talk turkey.
If I went to him, I'm afraid I'd end up with 2 turkeys and one of them would be on wheels. You won't find any turkeys at Orange Buick GMC, and no tricks or gimmicks. Sonny King won't allow it. I like that.
Fight night, fight night, fight night at the Forum. Hook, uppercut, right cross, lights out.
Live from the Forum, Monday night at 11 on Sunshine.
Ryan Collins calls his signals on 1st and 10 at the Miami 35-yard line. Larry Jones straight forward running to the 38-yard line. Mario Ayala, a freshman from Glassboro, New Jersey, the guy that was late getting on the field a few plays ago. Wasn't late getting to the ball carrier that time. Oh, that's not good. James Burgess apparently suffering some sort of arm injury. He's got the right arm in a sling.
And a cast. He's got it all casted up. Could be just a precautionary measure, though.
Hurricanes already thin there in the sense of losing a starter in Rohan Marley. Larry Jones ripping into the secondary to the Temple 43-yard line. Nice run for Larry Jones. Ted McDuffie in the secondary brought Jones down. A 19-yard pickup for Jones. 1st and 10, the Temple 43. Lamont Kane on the catch. He picks up the first down at the Temple 33-yard line. Needed 10 on first down, and that's just what Ryan Collins and Lamont Kane got.
Well, the second unit is moving the football. They've moved it both times, but once they've got down in the pay dirt territory, they've not been able to get it in. Let's see if they'll be able to sustain this drive and get some points on the board.
Mike Wenner is the new center for Miami. Broken play. Collins gets gets away? No, he does not. Jason Davis, a sophomore out of Yonkers, New York, able to get enough on Collins to knock him down. And that's a loss back to the 38-yard line.
Well, it looked like he wanted to pitch it to Larry Jones, and either the quarterback or the running back went the wrong way. And he did the smart thing, just held on to it, trying to get as much as he could. Ended up losing 5 yards on the play. Here you see, busted play. He's going the wrong way. Goes back.
Second down, 15. Collins for Chambers. And they hook up down at the 27-yard line.
Chambers made a good grab laying out to come down with the football, but the officials ruled him out of bounds.
Well, the ball spotted back at the 38-yard line. There are the numbers for Ryan Collins. It'll be 3rd down and 15 for Miami. 7:54 left here in the 4th quarter. Game is not in doubt, obviously, but Miami would like to get some more scores on the board, make this thing look even more impressive to the pollsters. Collins out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 15. Picked off by Alan Jackson. And he is brought down at the 32-yard line by Al Shipman and Mike Wenner. I'm not sure what's going on for Ryan Collins, but he's been planted in the pocket and has not been able to really locate open people.
Well, he's sitting back. He's trying to find the open guy, but the Temple defense is doing a good job of trying to get pressure with their front four and sitting people back in the zones and not allowing anybody to get open. You know, that's where you like to see Ryan Collins use his natural ability and come out of the pocket, run with the football, pick up the first down on your own. Don't throw into traffic, giving up the interception. Very frustrated young man right now. As you can see, he's got all day to throw this football, but this is a coverage interception because they just do a good job of not being able to find anybody open.
Well, you know what a competitor Ryan Collins is. He's a proud and fierce performer, and he has got to be a bit frustrated right now.
You know, anytime you get your opportunity, he's getting an opportunity to play right now, and he's sitting back there. He's got plenty of time, and a year ago he would have come out of the pocket running with the football. And so much has been said, you have to think about him running with the football so much. He's trying to show more patience, sit in the pocket, but there was an opportune time for him to come out and run with it because there was not an open receiver, and it's better than forcing it in, giving up the interception.
Frank Costa was intercepted once. Ryan Collins has been picked off twice. The Hurricanes have also lost a fumble. 4 turnovers. Not going to cost them the ball game today, but those are the types of things that could really snap up and bite you in a bigger, more competitive game.
Now, when you play a more competitive opponent, you can't afford to have the turnovers. You can't afford to have the senseless penalties, and those are the things that they've got to get out of their offense and defense so that when they do play for the national championship, or if they have the possibility, that they'll be ready.
Good run for Eugene Culbreth. Shot out of the Temple cannon. He advances to the 45-yard line. In Miami territory, Earl Little, the sophomore from North Miami, finally pulling down Eugene Culbreth, who has had a major day today. That a run of 21 yards, and Culbreth now has 58 yards in 12 carries.
Good blocking, as you see Summerday just moving Marvin Davis out of there, big hole.
Jeff Frederick on the catch at the 41, dropped immediately by Twan Russell. Jeff Taylor is now in the game for Miami, number 59, as an outside linebacker. Second down and 6. We're going to go down to Joe Rose right after this play for an update on the condition of James Burgess. Well, no room that that time for Eugene Colbreth. Stop back at midfield, a loss of 8. And the stop made by Marlon Barnes. Let's get an update from Joe Rose.
Thank you, Eric. First of all, James Burgess, it looks like, has a bruised elbow. He should be okay for next week's game. Also, Danielle Ferguson, as we mentioned earlier, has a minor hip pointer. He should be okay as well. Back to you, Eric.
All the news fit to print. Thanks, Joe. Get it all here on Sunshine Network.
Well, you know, Joe was a detective back in college. That's what he made you there.
319!
3rd and 11. Burris on the back pedal for the screen. And here comes Colbreth. Well, he's got some nice giddy up and go to him, Eugene Colbreth.
Well, he's a guy that once he catches the football, he turns on the speed. He runs north and south. He doesn't run east and west, try and run around people. He tries to go straight ahead. And here's just a good job by Henry Burris of setting up this screen to Colbreth. And watch once he catches the football. There's no faking, etc. He just lowers his shoulder, tries to run over everybody.
Earl Little on the stop. And it's 1st and 10 for Temple at the 34. Morse and Colbreth. And this is Sidney Morse up the middle. Fumble football. At the 23-yard line, Booker Pickett right there. But it looks like Temple's P.J. Cook recovered it. Yes, Cook has it at the 23.
There you see a little draw to Morris. Comes through it. There you see that Booker Pickett stripped it out.
How about your thoughts, Nat, on Henry Burris, the Temple sophomore quarterback?
I'm impressed with him. I'm more impressed with his poise under pressure. The Hurricanes have come at him. They've put pressure on him at times, and he has not panicked. He's always done the smart thing as far as taking care of the football. And therefore, you have no turnovers by the Temple Owls.
Eugene Colbreth again finds big running room. Earl Little brings him down at the 11-yard line, but a 12-yard gain for Colbreth, who keeps racking up numbers.
And that offensive line is just coming off and blowing the 2 defensive tackles out of there, Davis and Johnson, and giving Colbreth room to run up the middle.
14 carries, 62 yards for Colbreth. I believe that Temple has uncovered a pretty good player. He had just 7 carries all season before today. On 1st down, this is Sidney Morse, runs into his own offensive lineman, Eric Johnson, and just a gain of 1. Well, is this trouble for Miami? 4.5 left in the game. Should Temple punch in another touchdown, all of a sudden 38-21, and if you just pick up your newspaper tomorrow, you say, Temple gave Miami a pretty good battle. Maybe they have.
And that's what happens with the posters, because most of the people that vote in the coalition doesn't get to see the game. All they see is the final stats and the score.
4 minutes, 6 seconds left in the football afternoon here in Philadelphia, and that one not close. Henry Burris coming up short for P.J. Cook.
Greg McMackin came with the blitz. He brought Ray Lewis up the middle to apply a little pressure where Henry Burris had to get rid of it early. Wasn't able to get the ball to P.J. Cook on the out route.
What's up to all the people in Oklahoma? What's up?
I'm sure somewhere in the state of Oklahoma, the satellite dish is pulling this one down.
Arkmore, Oklahoma.
What's up, baby?
3rd down and 10 from the Miami 12. Fake the end around of Baxter. This worked before. Does not work this time. In and out of the hands of P.J. Cook.
This time Earl Little stayed at home, played his position, ran the quarterback all the way, and was able to come in and swat it away so that P.J. Cook doesn't get his second TD today. Even though you look at it, P.J. says he should have had that one. They just do a good job of play action today. Once again, they fake out Booker Pickett. And here you see Earl Little staying at home, breaking the pass up.
Good job by Little, the transfer from Michigan. He kept Cook from his 2nd touchdown reception of the day, and his 9th of the year. Burris asks for timeout with 3 minutes and 53 seconds left in the ball game. Miami in front, 38-14. The 2 Temple touchdowns today have both been touchdown passes from Henry Burris. 20 yards to Van Johnson in the first and 3 yards to P.J. Cook earlier on in the fourth. We'll be right back.
The world of Makita design. Innovative. Always a leader. Makita. It's all the power you need.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Get Smart Lease by GMAC. It just might give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around. Don't let a new car payment get you all wound up. Get Smart Lease by GMAC. It can put a new spin on affordability.
Coles with a steal. Look at the lead for Sally. For Minor. Yes.
Miami turns up the heat, blazing a path in the NBA, burning up the hardwood, scorching the opponents. Miami gets hotter because the Heat are smoking. Feel the heat all season on Sunshine.
Back at the Vet, where Temple is likely to lose their 15th game in a row here at Veterans Stadium. They will close out the season with 8 straight losses, a 2-9 record, and an 0-7 slate in the Big East. But I think Temple could be proud of their football team for one reason. They don't quit. They're not as deep or as talented as Miami, certainly, and all the others in the Big East, but they're a program that's trying to come on, and at least they're giving the all-out effort.
They're making progress, and that's what Ron Dickerson came into the season looking for. And the fact that anytime your starters have to play 90 to 95% of the plays, it's going to be tough to win a lot of ball games. You've got to develop the depth so that you can compete with the other teams around the league.
Ron Dickerson keeps saying one thing. It's going to happen. Maybe it'll happen here for Temple on 4th down and 10 from the Miami 12. Burris. Incomplete. P.J. Cook could never get more than one hand on the football. Eugene Ridgely, redshirt freshman from Marrero, Louisiana, helped break it up. Miami takes over on downs with 3:43 left, and the good news is Temple is out of timeouts.
But watch Henry Burris here. He just does a good job, and P.J. Ridgely thought he had a shot at that, and Ridgely came around and swatted it away. You can see the reaction of P.J. there. He liked it had that one.
Well, Miami playing their 3rd quarterback this afternoon, Ryan Clement, the freshman from Denver, Colorado. Those the numbers on the year. Clement winning the number 3 quarterback job over Scott Covington, a talented first-year player. And Clement gets a little work here in the final 3:43. He handled the punting chores for Miami this afternoon and did well. That's Tony Gator being roughed up by Keith Karen, number 49. Now the Hurricanes going to hike their record to 9-1. Miami will win the Big East Conference Championship, gaining their 6th Big East win today. They've yet to lose a Big East Conference game this year. Hurricanes, matter of fact, after today, will be 18-1 lifetime in the Big East Conference. Today will be Miami's 70th straight win against an unranked foe, and their 7th win in a row this year.
Miami is not known for losing in general, but very seldom do you hear of Miami losing to an unranked team.
Ryan Clement going deep, and too deep for Marcus Wimberly. Lamart Watts, on the coverage.
Watts does a good job of locating the receiver. He's not a part of that play. The receiver's being covered on the other side, but he locates the receiver and runs to him, and he's able to keep Wimberly from coming open for the reception.
Dave Arnold, Miami special teams coach, not really worried this week, knowing that he had to go with Clement as his punter. Actually, their third punting choice after Chrissy and Pruitt both were bothered by injuries. And those lack of fears proved to be well-founded. Just 2 punts and an average of 44 yards for Clement. 3rd and 13. The handoff to Tony Gator. He runs smack into a Temple wall at the 15-yard line. That won't be near enough to a first down. They'll come up 7 yards shy. And with 2.5 minutes left, clock still moving, Miami will punt. Clement will just step back and boot it away.
I think the good thing about Clement getting the opportunity to punt today is that it'll get him ready for next week as they come up against Boston College, which will be a much tougher opponent. And as you've seen, Temple has come after the punt almost every time, and he's had to hurry to get it out of there, and he can expect the same thing next week.
Frederick juggles it, and fair catches it at the 48-yard line. Well, just the one mistake on the Miami punt team today when Clement took a snap off the rug, saw the rush coming, and Temple was able to take over at the Miami 20-yard line. But not bad, all things considered. Minute 49 left. Miami leading 38-14. And don't forget, next week on Saturday night, Miami and Boston College under the lights at the Orange Bowl, televised nationally on ESPN. Burris, too tall for Van Johnson.
Burris just does an unbelievable job of all that pressure around him from the Hurricane defensive line. He still keeps his vision downfield and is aware of where all of his receivers are. For a young man with a program like Temple that struggles, that says a lot for the quarterback coach and the teaching that they're doing.
Burris, too high for Frederick, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 10. But we're looking at a young player in Henry Burris who is likely to be, by the time he's all finished, the greatest quarterback in the history of Temple football. He's already 6th on the all-time passing yardage list. He was only a part-time starter last year, so great things expected of a guy that's only beginning his ascent as a college football player. Minute 34 to go. 3rd and 10 at the Miami 48. Screen complete to Colbreth. Dances away from Dwayne Johnson, but too many Hurricanes there. No gain. Marvin Davis, number 93. Twan Russell in on the stop. Marvin Davis, they call him Mr. Hustle for Miami. Filling in for the injured Pat Riley. No question, Davis is ready to play. Greg McMackin, the defensive coordinator, says if you wanted to put together a clinic film on swarming defense, all you got to do is put your camera on Marvin Davis.
Young man with a lot of ability that has had an opportunity to learn a lot.
How about this? A fake. Very nearly picked off. Larry Walding, the backup tight end. Penalty marker down, by the way. Walding, number 7, took the snap, fired away, and the closest man to it was Dennis Scott. You'll see what the marker's about. Looks like it's against Temple. West Virginia winning today against Boston College. So the Eagles, off a loss, will come into Miami. Next Saturday, it'll be a huge game for the Hurricanes.
Illegal pass. Passes beyond the line against the passing team. Be 5 yards. Loss of down. First down.
Season will end for Ron Dickerson in Temple today. Miami, big game next week. They want to win impressively and wrap up an Orange Bowl bid, which would give them a chance to play Nebraska in what potentially could be a national championship game.
Well, you can expect, though, the Boston Eagles to come in spitting fire after their loss today. And should be a heck of a ball game next Saturday night in the Orange Bowl.
We've had great help here in the booth today at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. I want to thank our statistician, Brian Kirshner, and our veteran spotter, Bill Friel. He's worked with all of the great ones until today, but he helped us. No question about it.
That he did.
We enjoyed our visit to Philadelphia. My second trip here in about 3 days. First down, 15. Clement on the pitch back to Tony Gator. And he is taken down by Corey Green at the 46-yard line. Gain of 3. Now this will be the final Hurricane football broadcast for this season on Sunshine Network. Paul Kennedy has sat in for me on a couple of misses. Want to thank him, and of course great to work with the former Dolphins and just great folks, Nat Moore and Joe Rose. We enjoyed it as we always do, Nat.
Well, Eric, it's been fun. I look forward to continuing to work with you, and I look forward to seeing you a lot this year at the Heat games and doing the Heat broadcast.
Yeah, you're a great Heat fan, and we love seeing you in the building, Nat.
Now, if y'all could just promise me a few more victories. Can you do anything about that?
I'm already doing all I can.
Do you have a pipeline to Kevin?
Yes, but I don't think that's going to help either. The Heat off to a slow start, losing 6 of their first 7. You'll see the Heat and the Orlando Magic Monday night here on Sunshine Network, 7 p.m. for the pregame show. Still early, the Heat hoping not to dig too deep a hole for themselves until they get everything in working order after all the trades. 32 seconds left in our ball game today. 38-14, the Miami Hurricanes. Straight ahead running for Derek Harris. Converted fullback to tight end, and now getting a little work back at the fullback spot. Tim Terry on the stop. Derek Harris hobbles as he gets up. Stay with us as we wind down, because immediately following this game, Joe Rose will chat with Hurricane head coach Dennis Erickson. His record after today will be 62-8 as the Miami coach. That's a winning percentage of over 88%.
Like he injured his knee slightly there, and
hate to see anybody go down, but this late the game already decided. That's what happened to Patrick Riley last week. Last series against Pitt, he suffers a season-ending knee injury.
That's where you wonder if it's not better to just let the clock run down and not snap the ball at all. And it looked like that's what they're going to do there. You see Ryan Clemens backing away from the center, just letting the clock run out.
Well, the Hurricanes win their 7th in a row. They go to 9-1 on the year, 6-0 in the Big East. Dennis Erickson can trade in the baseball cap for the Big East Conference crown. The Hurricanes have just wrapped up the Big East Conference Championship. Second season for Ron Dickerson at Temple is over. The Owls finish 2-9 and winless in 7 Big East games. 38-14 the final. The Hurricanes come to Philadelphia and take care of business. Feel good for Frank Costa today, Nat. The pressures of coming home and coming off a subpar week against West Virginia, but he dialed the right number over and over again today. Costa finishes up 19 of 36, 250 yards. Let's go downstairs. Joe Rose standing by with the head coach of the Miami Hurricanes.
All right, Eric, we've got Dennis Erickson with us. Coach, you happy with the overall performance today?
Well, we got a little sloppy in the fourth quarter, but I thought in the first 3 quarters we played extremely well, and got off to a little slow start in the first quarter, but then really took it over, came out to start the second half, I thought, and, dominated the game, and it doesn't make any difference what the score is as far as I'm concerned. We got a chance to get a lot of guys in there to play, and got a lot of our second guys in almost the whole second half, and that's what we're looking for.
Looks like early in the game you guys came out thinking you were going to throw it a lot and then went back to that running game and really got things established.
Yeah, I think so, and we threw play action pass. I thought Frank threw the ball extremely well, and we blocked pretty well up front, but then defensively we kind of snuffed them out pretty much, and but they're a improved football team, and they've come a long ways, and but it was a good win for us, and now we go on to the next one, but anytime in the fourth quarter when you're playing a lot of different guys, you're going to look a little sloppy, but that's how it goes.
I know this question's going to come up, so I might as well be the first to ask. You get in the well, this one's an easy one. The fourth quarter, you ever start thinking about the coalition, the whole thing, that you need to continue to score points, the way the system's set up?
Not really, because our situation is winning our league, which we won our league now by a long ways, right. and so that's the most important thing. And the key, whether we won this one big or not, we got to win next week. If we win next week, then obviously we're going to probably go to the Orange Bowl, I guess. So it really didn't make any difference. If I thought it would, then I would have kept our whole guys in the whole game. But I don't believe in that. You know that. And well,
it was a safe question. I promised you.
I know you did good.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right, Joe.
All right, Eric Nat, back up to you.
Thanks, Joe. Gentleman Dennis Erickson and his Hurricanes chalk up a 24-point road win. We'll be back with more right after this.